Welcome to Plat Chat VALORANT episode 96. Dude, Bren is so excited. This is what POV. You've taken one too many sips of the Red Bull. Dude. Bren is acting a fool. I mean, this episode we had some trouble starting on time. Josh was gonna come in as my little laptop intern. He was gonna read off laptop messages for me. But Avast showed up right on time. He had the official Misfits audio guy, Rick, set him up.
Yep.
I mean, look at that.
What, you don't like
view.
this setup? Dude, what's wrong with it?
Point of view.
Point of view. You're watching Plat Chat. I mean, this is it. Right here.
I feel like I'm at the mall and I'm about to walk up and sit on Santa's lap and ask for the new Hot Wheels for Christmas. POV.
Oh, we grant wishes here at Plat Chat, actually. We actually grant every wish. And the wish is any team we predict for that you want to lose, they will lose. So that's our wishes.
We also grant one other wish. You know what that is, Connor? It's that
What's
if you leave a thought-provoking, interesting message in a super chat, we might add it into our discussion and read it out loud.
Has to be philosophical in nature.
Has to really.
You need to be the new Socrates.
Deep thought.
I'll be here forever with you, Bren.
So yeah. Anyway, sorry for being a little bit late. All good. We're here now, and we're ready to discuss Valorant. Guys, did you see there's a new map? Did you see there's a new map? Pearl has been released to some extent. It's not. I mean, it's out in the new patch, but it's on the PBE.
Soon.
So yeah.
No,
well,
it's out.
PBE got
It's
taken
out
down.
right now in this new episode. It's out.
It's out in the new episode
right
in the
now.
game.
New
Patch
episode
launched, I think, in
released
NA.
today.
In the video
Right
game?
now.
That's awesome. Okay, so Pearl is in, and that means Split is out. Which I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that there's no more painful experience than playing ranked, seeing that you got Split, and then starting on attack
side.
I mean, you're just losing 9 out of 10 games automatically, starting Split attack and ranked, and you don't have to deal with that anymore. And honestly, I'm okay with that.
Yep. I'm also okay with that. I think I saw people commenting saying, they're removing the wrong map. I love Split. You're a masochist. If you're that person, you're a masochist. You like pain, I think, because that, I don't know. The trouble is the map was just way too. I'm saying was like it's permanently removed. I mean, I guess it is from unrated and competitive, but yeah, it's too choke pointy. It requires too much coordination for any sort of rank play. It's a cool map to watch in competitive play, but outside of it, nah. Has anybody played on Pearl?
I haven't played it yet. I've looked around. Ball, what are your thoughts on Pearl?
It's a pretty good map. I think they're continuing like the trend from Fracture to me, where I mean, without the gimmick, obviously Fracture gimmick changes everything, but simple, a lot of good angles. There's like a large variety of different things and places to play, and I like that. I haven't obviously gotten like a competitive experience on it, but it's pretty good. And the thought is that like it's super big. They're gonna play double controller on this map finally, but I don't think that's how it will play down the line, because you can just play in mid. The mid is freaking weird, because it just accesses everything and pretty long distances throughout mid. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to actually watch. I think.
Yeah, I roamed
the
around
Yoru
it.
Neon map. Is this the map
what was
finally?
that?
The Yoru Neon, where you can the Yoru map where you can just run frantically throughout the map, just maximum mobility.
I mean, listen, honestly, I could see Neon being decent on this map.
Yeah, maybe.
I could see that being the case. It is quite interesting. The gimmick is no gimmick. It's just that there's...
They got a suit.
Oh, what? I mean, first of all, I love the aesthetic of the map. I think it's awesome. I love the look of the map. Very cool.
So good.
Lore.
Yeah,
but also... Yeah, the gimmick is no gimmick, which I'm fine with. I like the gimmicks. I don't, I also like no gimmicks. And the map just has, Balla was talking about the mid, which then splits out into 4 pathways that go to the 2 sites. So definitely leaves a large opening for the creative minds to figure out ways to, effectively sell fakes and rotate through one of the various mid paths. I mean, there's even, like through that way through sewer, I think there's going to be opportunities for players to get cheeky lurks like through there and to spawn. There's just so many.
That's Angels Yoru
avenues.
heaven right there, like for sure. Because
Yeah.
you're not going to be playing back there as a defender. You're going to be playing here, which is, I guess, a link, and then you're going to be playing on the other side next to double door. So you're never really going to be playing here or even rotating through here, unless you're rotating from double door. It's interesting. Is this Kurt? Kurt, are you running around? I didn't realize that
This
was
is a
just
YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
But I would probably be missing the Jett.
I was like, whoa, you're like not getting lost.
Yeah, the map seems really complicated, but there's, I don't know, in my mind I've already partitioned like a part of my brain, like an old Windows XP partition. Like I've figured it out already. I've got it in my head. Every site has 2 ways in, 2 ways out. So mid is like the major connective tissue, and everybody also. So you can see it here. If you pause here, Kurt. Oh, sorry, whoops. I just wanted to see when he pulled up the minimap with the barriers up. You can see everybody gets access to mid roughly the same time. Roughly the same time. So with the barriers, like in terms of the location of them, and that is the thing that's going to be connecting up the sites essentially. The thing that's always going to be, I think, the most important area of the map to fight over. It's going to be very similar to Split in some regard, where Split gives you avenues to go to either side from mid, but the map is not as choke pointy as Split, and so it won't feel as oppressive and ranked. I think there'll be more opportunities to get away with stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing too on Split, like when you get control of mid, you have to fight through another big area that defenders are holding. But if you get that, then the site people are fighting from like multiple different places at the same time. It's much more advanced, whereas this is a little bit farther back where the attackers end up getting the pinches going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first map where there's like a crouch mechanic to access certain areas, like in the sewers, right? There's like that one map in CS that's like that too.
Plenty of maps in CS like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I haven't played that much
Inferno,
CS.
Inferno has the tunnel.
Yeah, Inferno has
The
the
Goblin tunnel.
But I don't think there's anything like that in Valorant currently, right? This is the first map that actually finally we're getting some crouch utilization.
See, I don't like that because when I unbound crouch, the level of my gameplay increased significantly. Unbinding crouch is actually the key to
What do you have
success.
it bound to?
Like tilde. So I have to reach with my pinky so far to crouch just to go into sewer. I don't like that. But what agents do you guys think are going to be meta on this map? What does it look like? I think there is potential for Neon to be good on this map. I think Cypher is going to be good. I mean, listen, Chamber is going to be good because Chamber.
I can see Viper still being pretty good.
You think so?
I think this map is
areas.
too big for Viper. Like maybe as a double controller, but like definitely not single controller.
No, I could see Viper being played.
Yeah, I feel like Viper, because I feel like this is a similar thing to what so much area to control. That Viper's great with just splitting up these huge sight lines.
Yusendo, you could probably get a wall going from one of the sides to mid to disrupt mid and help your team take it.
Yeah, but then the other part of mid definitely isn't being covered. You know?
Yeah.
I messed around with a few Viper walls. It was like really hard to get.
Oh, really?
And I said double controller is probably fine with Viper, but
Sure.
just as a single like it's Icebox or Breeze, that's not going to happen. And the way that the sites are too confined anyways, that you're not trying to block off those like long angles. You're just smoking close A to try to get a plant down. Or I mean, there was a Viper who was playing on B with me, and like the deep wall, it was okay, but then there's no value the rest of the place on the map. You know?
Unironically, if you want a top ranked tip, little Timothy who's watching at home for new map releases,
I like ranking up.
Play Sage. Play Sage on new maps. I just lock Sage on Fracture because like nobody knows the fucking map. It's like it comes down to rushes a lot of time, but you just get so much value out of wall. People don't break it. You're playing Sage. It's always good. And I think I had like a 90% win rate on Fracture when it first released. Playing Sage only.
Yeah, Sage also is good on Fracture.
She'd be good on this map as well. This is the reason I brought it up, is because I was thinking of different stuff you could do with the Sage walls. I mean, there's little holes that are in the wall that the guy kept walking past. You can't really do anything crazy with that because you can't really Sage boost yourself up. And the barriers are too close anyway that even if you did manage to boost yourself up, the attackers would already be up underneath the wall. Like you wouldn't get a sightline on them. No. But there's so many. It's so choke pointy. It's impossible to not get value playing Sage on this map. I feel so like I don't know if she'll be meta on it, but in ranked, She's always good.
She's meta and ranked. Yeah. I'm feeling like, looking at it, I feel like a lot of the initiators are, well, some of the initiators are going to be strong. I could imagine Breach being really strong because I think there are a lot of places you can get good flashes off, a lot of tight corners that you can flash. Also, all of the little like mid flanks and a lot of the areas are narrow and long, so the stun could possibly get a lot of value. Yeah. I could see Breach being quite strong. I could see Skye being quite strong, also for similar reasons. I think her flashes could be effective on this map. I think the dog will be really effective on this map for clearing some of those spaces. And then also, I think Fade could be really good for a similar thing, because a lot of the like hallway areas around mid, Prowlers seem like they'll be so good at clearing those areas out. Though I think in an area like around here on the B site, maybe the Fade value might lessen a bit, or like the Haunt would be good around here possibly if there's some kind of lineup for the roofs, but like the Prowlers will be good around mid. I think a few of the initiators should be quite viable. I don't imagine Sova will really be played. I
think that's more just because Sova's bad now than anything else. Like I don't think that this is not a good Sova map, if that makes sense. It's not like Split.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it would be even if it was. I don't think it would be great, honestly, even if he was still at full previous strength. I don't
angular.
know.
You know what I mean? Same kind of theory as to why you don't see Sova on Split, is that you use a dart and somebody. Yeah.
I can really.
Also, the other thing is that it's hard to use your darts on Split because of the ceilings and stuff like that.
Height, yeah, right. Skyscrapers in the way.
I could really see this map being quite open in regards to the comps, though. Like, I think this will be one of the maps that when you see it come into the pool, you're going to see a lot of variety. I think that there's a lot of potentially very relevant agents and play styles to be had. All right. I do want to read out one super chat real quick. All Near 87 is just asking if we're going to talk about Zeta Division, how they're performing. We are. We're going to talk about that later. In the show. Pog! But right now, we have a sponsor segment. Sponsors, anybody? I love ad reads. This week we're sponsored.
It really does look like just Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like a miniature version of Connor. We've miniaturized him and we put him on the desk.
Dude, I mean, it's all part of our appeal to get sponsors. Every day we don't get a sponsor, I grow shorter. Until I become an atom. Okay? And if they don't give us more money, I'll be lost into the cosmic unit, into like the quantum realm, like Ant-Man. If you don't give me if you don't give us more sponsors.
Companies, please give us money. Don't let Connor shrink. This week we're sponsored by Juked.GG. Juked is a newly launched social media platform that provides hardcore and casual fans alike a place to follow, discuss, and connect with like-minded esports fans in a toxic-free environment thanks to their strict anti-toxicity stance. So you're not going to get trolled. If you don't like getting trolled, this is the place for you. That's not all, though. Juked has tons of utility, including an aggregated newsfeed curated based on your interests. An in-depth calendar to keep up with all the upcoming live and recent matches and scores, spoiler mode, push notifications for news and matches, live streams, and much more. If you want a place to stay up to date and engage around all your favorite Valorant news, teams, and matches, then head to jkd.gg/platchat to download and earn an exclusive Plat Chat badge while you can.
Yep.
That's a really good image.
Oh my God.
I like that image a lot. Really just seeing the...
Who is that?
Brennon.
Is that me?
That's
It's,
you, yeah.
It doesn't look like me.
It's tough to tell.
Your face looks so smooth in that. It's like...
no, that's
I
the
don't remember
guard.
eating anything.
Yeah, that's just
That's
the guard.
Yeah, it's the guard from the guard. Seeing the guard in a real goblin state of mind.
That doesn't look like anyone on the show.
I mean, I thought it was me at first.
It's you, which is quite astounding. Honestly, I think that I listen.
I thought it was me
guys,
at first.
guys,
I was looking at it,
I'll
but I can't
spoil
tell.
It's me. That's me.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think so.
Oh God. Yes. So I'm trying to.
By the way, the jkd.gg/platchat link is case sensitive. So I know some people yesterday were having issues with that on Overwatch.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we're gonna answer some questions. Do
I love questions.
AMA. You like answering them too?
Yeah,
Good, 'cause
sure.
that's what we're gonna do.
Screaming at random intervals.
All right.
Dude, what happened to Bren?
Looking at a question, too much Red Bull. Looking at a question right now, too much TF2 at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Followed by Red Bull in the morning.
Dude, Timothy Ladd was
wokage.
pounding though.
So I got a question here from AT Boat. He asks, if you had to make an all-star team with one player per region, who would you pick for each role? That is a someone. If you had to make an all-star team, I mean, first of all, I would say from NA right now, you're going to want Ye. Is that? Can we settle on that? North America?
No, because I think I'd take Durka from EU.
Ooh. Ooh.
Listen, I could get on board with that.
Schisms within the Plat Chat team.
I could I could get on board with that. And then from NA, we take FNS, IGL.
FNS.
FNS over
man.
Marved.
We need an IGL. The team needs
Yeah,
a,
okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's reasonable.
Hold on.
What other IGL are we going for?
Who IGLs for
Poster.
Loud again?
But we got Durka.
Oh yeah.
We
Let's
could
get rid of
Cloud
Doka and get
Oh, dude, we
Boasted.
could get Stacks as the IGL.
Dude.
Hold on. Stacks Initiator IGL? Come on. No, seriously. That,
I mean, fuck it.
dude, I mean, if we're taking someone from Korea, I want Stacks. Who else
Sure.
would be, you know? I mean, I think that's,
I would
he's the guy.
Wait, do we?
Mako
Hold
or
on. Are we
Buzz?
doing like APAC, Korea, Japan,
there's
all as
Mako
the
and Buzz.
separate
Sure.
regions?
I think that's fair. And then, so I'm going to take Stacks Initiator, Durka Chamber, from, I think,
Dude, can I throw in a name?
dude, go for it.
Sugar Zero on controller.
Controller?
I would be okay with that. But, yeah, wait, I would be okay with that, but we're going to have too many players.
Are we?
Yeah, because then we're going to have 6 players. We could have Sugar Zero be our backup. He could.
Wait, how many players do we have right now?
We have 2, and then we need BR, NA, APAC, and
But
Japan.
There's too many regions.
There are too many regions. We got to.
we gotta shrink. Two regions are gone.
We're gonna count some regions. I was gonna say.
Oh.
Aspas.
I was gonna say
Aspas
Aspas
is
is
a
our duelist.
no-brainer,
Yeah,
man.
Aspas
Yeah.
duelist.
Yep.
And then, sadly, we might. I'm okay with the Sugar Zero controller. That would work for me.
No.
I'd
No,
kind of
because-
like to get Marv.
Marv.
I'd like to
You
get
gotta get
Marv.
Marv, but
Yeah.
Oh,
But
gotta
then-
get
but then we
Marv.
don't get
Okay,
FNX.
we're gonna get Slip and Jimmy
No, but we
from
have
NA.
Stacks.
Oh, we have
Yeah, get
Stacks.
Stacks.
And we're gonna get
I forgot
Stacks
IGL.
IGL, and then we need what do we even need then?
We need a flex/initiator from any other region.
Any other region?
Uh,
What's the
could be
oceanic
like-
talent pool looking like?
well, there's the 2 Chinese teams that could potentially play, right? So what about some of the Chinese talent as well?
How do we get
You
Sushi
get, like,
Boys on this roster? That's my question.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know where we fit him.
We could
He's not an
get,
initiator, but we could. I mean, we could get Fox is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
from Zersha.
Get
Well,
Fox.
wait, so wait, if we have Marv, Stacks, Aspas, what if we get like Zeke or something for the initiator?
Well, we got
We already have Durka.
Oh, to be honest, we already have
Durka.
Durka.
Oh, we got
yeah.
Durka.
We have Durka from
okay.
EU.
God, this is a well thought out segment.
Well, what about Mazzino from Crew or something like that?
Oh,
Oh, dude,
Mazzino.
that's actually a
that's-
Pog pick.
That is a good
That is
one.
actually a
Good
Pog. I'm locking it in. That is actually
We're building this roster live.
that is actually Gigabrain. That is Gigabrain. Let me see here.
I think
for
that's a
another
complete team.
question. That's pretty. That's pretty
that's
strong.
pretty
Actually,
good, yeah.
that's actually.
I'm
pretty
not
good
mad
team.
at that. I think the Mazzino pick is actually Gigabrain from Balla.
Let's bring them together into a show match versus the Egg Enthusiasts.
With the sum of the teams thought to be good in playoffs out, e.g. Ghost, 100 Thieves, is NA looking weaker than we had thought before the start of playoffs and closer to a one super team region in OpTic? That is a
Oh,
good...
come on.
Wait,
Come on.
no,
That
I
is
understand the
over-
argument,
yeah.
though.
I know, I get it, but like
Okay.
that's reactionary. I think we'll get to it when we actually do the
Yeah.
episode, but I feel like EG and Ghost, it was just a first time playoff type of thing. Like they were
Yeah.
still mad good throughout the groups, and I don't think that takes away from their ceiling at all. Plus,
would
the
agree.
teams that we still have in playoffs are fucking good. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
think
go get away, EMEA people.
the lower bracket looks pretty dangerous in NA right now, just in terms of the teams we got there. But also, I mean, I feel like OpTic and XSET, if XSET keep up the playoff form as well, I don't know. It's definitely not a one-team region. Definitely not.
Yeah. Also, top of that, like all those other teams that got eliminated, they didn't like it clearly felt like it was just a downtick performance. They were still doing things that we saw from them previously in the group stages and qualifiers. It felt like the nerves and like
I mean, we'll
playoffs
talk about it on the
yeah,
show.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Listen,
Yeah.
we have a whole North. We don't want to take away from the North American section of the show.
I love NA. I love NA. More NA talk. Question from Cassist. Is the gun balance in a good place? Despite no drastic changes to the Vandal and Phantom, pick rates seem to fluctuate healthily between the two. How about force buy and eco round options? Okay, when we're talking gun balance, okay, first of all, can I talk about Chambers guns? Am I allowed to talk about that? Yeah, sure. Because he has an 800 credit card. Okay, so that's not balanced. I'm going to say that. He has guns that are better than the ones you can buy as an ability.
You just carry him into the next round.
I mean, it's better than a Guardian too.
I mean, so I would say that, but okay, I want to talk about the actual guns that everyone can buy too. Is the gun balance in a good place right now? I actually think it is. I don't think there's any gun that's really that tilting other than the Judge.
Counterpoint, Frenzy. Kurt, I've got a clip for you.
The Frenzy? I don't think the Frenzy is that
Counterpoint, Frenzy.
busted right now.
Counterpoint, let's remove
ratio.
the Judge, remove the Bucky, remove the Shorty. Remove the SMG.
No, don't remove the Bucky.
I think you should remove all 3 of the shotguns and get rid of and just put scattergun from TF2 in, and that would be way better.
I love being a little Bucky gremlin in U-Haul on Bind.
That's nice. I want you deleted from the game.
It's such a fun strategy. No aim, no brain. Just sit in the little corner with your little Bucky and wait for them to walk into you. It's... but what do you guys think? Overall, how's the gun balance, Balla?
Fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't think about the gun balance on a day-to-day
I mean, it's probably the best
basis.
it's ever been.
Yeah, probably. Well, actually, I feel like people are dropping the Phantom a lot right now. But yeah, I mean, in general, it's like Phantom's still good. It's just who want to use the Vandal.
Shameless plug. The clip is in the chat, Kurt. Frenzy needs changes. ASAP.
Okay. Let's see this
It's
clip.
still busted.
I think the Frenzy's good, but I think it's fine.
Dude, it's kind of crazy. Watch this.
What's going on here?
Dude, watch this.
Okay. You fight. Well.
Oh, wow. What do you mean?
Dude.
You whipped every single shot in your
I think that's
I don't know if that's a Frenzy issue.
I am perfectly tracking ahead. I am perfectly tracking ahead.
I think.
I am perfectly tracking
I don't know
ahead.
if that's a Frenzy
0.25
issue.
that, Kurt.
What's going on
Let's
here?
see what's going on.
You're doing
on
this
here?
slow.
Okay, well.
Okay,
Okay,
listen, first of all, playing
little
Fade.
pre-fire, that's
There's
fine.
slow. There's slow.
Furthest one into the side.
Right. Okay, so that's
Okay.
a bit, okay.
Bullets 1 through 3 clearly missed. Bullets 4 through 5 lag compensation.
They are full running sideways, and they double ding me into Frenzy.
He's slowed, so the fucking running accuracy is not actually applied.
He wasn't slowed. The slow.
He was literally in the slow. He was in the
There's
slow.
no shot,
You
man.
saw it was in the
You saw the slow.
No,
It was in the clip.
No,
That seems like a you problem.
No, I tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll take instead of nerfing a Frenzy, I'll take lowering Sova drone to 300 credits, so that you can
That's
buy
not a weapon.
What?
That's not.
No. But
gun,
it's
bro.
kind of related because I always get annoyed when I have to buy Sova drone when I'm playing Sova and playing like Xbox.
Wait,
We were playing
that means that means the segment's
The segment's over.
But final point.
Okay, final point.
Bren, hurry.
I
Go,
get
go, go.
annoyed when I have to play Sova and I can't buy a gun. I can't buy a fancy gun because it's fucking 400 credits.
So you're playing rank. Don't buy a drone. Oh, I guess. I mean, just dude, be a Chad and buy like.
No, you have to buy a drone.
dude,
Because if I don't buy a drone, then we can't push B-Man on Icebox. And if we can't push B-Man on Icebox, our team's going to wander in like lemmings. Just one at a time. And
No.
I can't ever buy a fancy gun on pistol rounds when I play Sova. Doesn't matter. We can move on. Segment's over. I'm getting another Red Bull. I'm going.
Everybody knows.
That's just how Omen players have been feeling for like years now, essentially. With the Omen players with their fucking paranoia. So
Yeah. The Omen player's plight. Also, dude, imagine buying drone on pistol round as Sova when you could buy 2 shocks and a ghost. Easily the more Chad option. All right, get your Red Bull and sit back down, Bren. Bren's wandering around. This guy's hopped up on. You're about to have like 500 milligrams of caffeine coursing through your veins.
I'm dropping 3 kills in our game
I mean,
tonight.
I'm
gonna crash so
worried
fucking
about
hard.
Bren. Okay. Next topic.
Why are you acting like Professor Snape, bro?
Was
Wait, what?
dude? Everybody, can you guys let me control the show?
Sorry. Go.
I'm about to get, dude.
I'll sit over here.
Who was the best player of the playoffs so far? Kurt, run it.
Wait, this is a.
Ooh, all right. So
Wait, me and Connor got the same choice.
Any Faze fanboys?
Connor and Bren have selected Dicey as the best player of the playoffs so far. Balla has gone with Victor, and I've gone with Depp.
That's an
of
absolute
Zeta
clout
Division.
Dude, I'm tired of your.
It's not a clout.
That is
You're
an
fucking.
absolute clout.
Oh,
It
dude.
actually is. You're thrifting. You're thrifting on Plat Chat. You're thrifting for players.
Nope,
Right
it's-
now, you're doing the thrift
it's
shop.
literally-
You're picking the most cool,
Nope.
esoteric options.
Nope.
You're doing it right now.
Nope. I'm gonna fucking sell you on this right now, dude. Okay, Kurt. First of all, while this is going, pull up the clip I sent you of Depp getting an ace, just to really, infiltrate their
The one on
subconscious
Bind.
that he's straight poggers.
yeah.
Okay, Depp played 2 games. They played 2 matches this past weekend. First of all, it's important to note the skill level in Japan is increasing. These teams are just better. I'm watching these games. The competition is better. Okay, so he's playing against stronger teams than we're playing in the region previously. They played 2 maps of Split where he both had good games, went positive, had impact playing Sage. He played Omen for them here on Bind, and in the first half they were down 8-4 and he was 9-13. And then in the second half, and to win an OT, he went 21-3 on Omen. He just destroyed the other team for the Zeta Division comeback. And then in their second series that they played against Fave Gaming, who looked strong, by the way, he went off playing some of the best Neon and well thought out utility Neon that I've seen, period. He was doing great, like very cool new stuff with the Neon util that I have not seen before, and he was fragging out of control, popping off. He played super well in both of the series this weekend, and I got to give some credit for what he was doing with the Neon, because he was cooking up shit that I have not seen before. I was blown away by Depp this weekend, and Zeta Division, period, actually. And even more than that, the region is definitely stepping up, which makes sense given that, I'm assuming Zeta Division has inspired that region with extreme hopium. And the teams are taking it seriously, because I think we're going to talk about Zeta Division more, but I think the competition there is stronger than ever, and he played a crazy 2 series over this weekend. But
I think that's reasonable. I haven't watched enough Zeta Division. I watched the most recent match they played, and I have my qualms with them. I won't.
okay. We're going to talk about Zeta.
We'll talk about it later.
Ball, tell me about Victor. Sell me on Victor.
Bro, he debuted on Jett and played Neon as well. They played 2 maps against CG, and he was fucking farming, bro. The best I've ever seen this guy play. And the Jett debut was just mind-boggling, like better than a lot of prime Jett players doing new stuff. It was nasty. I think him doing this specifically was just boomed the crap out of EG. Like there was no
It
chance
felt
when
like-
Victor was in that form.
When he was playing Jett, the only thing I could think of was like his team had told him ahead of time, Victor, it doesn't matter if you die, we're going to win the game 4v5. And he just decided to do random shit by himself at various points. And he had free reign. He was not like every now and then they'd combo up, he'd be a part of something, but across the board, he was doing whatever the fuck he wanted. He was like a toddler just let off his leash at a play park, just going crazy.
Just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun.
He was having a good time on Breeze, just
having
running
a fun
around.
time.
Yeah.
Can I change my player? How difficult was that?
You're
I'm not doing it now.
Why you want to change?
Well,
Why
because
you
I
wanna
forgot.
change?
I said to Kurt I was going to send in 2 choices and then decide on one once I watched the EMEA games, and I forgot.
Oh.
ADHD moment.
All right. Well, you two have gone with Dicey. Connor, Bren, tell me about Dicey.
Consistent performer.
Here's what we do.
Yeah.
We should split it. You do the first half, I do the second.
Okay.
Okay.
What if we do? I'll say that let's finish each other's sentence. Hold on. I'll start the first word. You do the second one, and we can alternate.
Okay, sure.
Dicey,
Was
the
best
guy.
for
The
Faze
glad
I mean,
Okay, never mind.
No, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
dude,
That's hard.
and they say we don't know what we're talking about. They say we can't analyze the game. Take that, dude. Little nugget for the haters.
I don't know where Kyle was going.
That one was hard. That was hard. That was hard.
Unbelievable. He's the best guy. All right, well, does that end it? I mean, is that...
Who was the best player of the playoffs so far? Dicey was the best player for Faze Clan.
He was the best guy.
There was.
Best guy.
Yeah.
He was
I
the
mean,
best guy,
Dicey's
too.
stats have been nuts. His
been-
chamber has been mad consistent. He has been cracked out.
He's been the difference maker for this team. When FaZe have been finding more nuance, the more and more that they've played over the course of playoffs, Baby has been like integral to their strats. Obviously, always playing the neon, but sometimes it's not the reliance isn't on Baby to open stuff up. But Dicey is always the one who's putting up numbers regardless, even if Baby ends up going down because part of the strat was they were trying to do like a QB sneak or something, trying to fake a sight. It's always Dicey, and the guy plays with unadulterated confidence. You watch his gameplay, there is never a moment of doubt in his head when he's making a play. He will push you in cave. He will push you in a certain area with an op, with literally a glass cannon op sometimes. Like, the guy is just a menace. He's a menace in the server. And the numbers he's putting up, alongside just the consistency, the amount of games that FaZe have played, it's astounding that his numbers overall are this high for playoffs. It really is. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, some might argue that Chambers, maybe a little strong right now. Some could make that argument, but maybe,
Some.
I mean, it's
Few.
maybe some could say that. Not sure. I haven't seen. I mean, general, everyone's kind of mixed on that right now. But I mean, him on the chamber, the freedom that he makes to just like hold smokes often and just make a play on so many times when they're down like 2 players already and just like get injuries immediately, like especially on defense. It's crazy. The confidence and the ability for him to be on chamber and just get so much impact is insane for this team. It takes so much pressure off of Baby too to have to be the only fragger, which is something we've talked about previously as well. If anything, it's taken some of the pressure for him to be the main fragger at times and let Baby just be more of that. Just he opens up the fights and he initiates the fights a lot of times as the neon and gets set up. So like Dicey's insane. He's just fucking. He's got Icy in his name, man. Literally got Icy in his fucking name.
Yeah. He did go crazy.
Can I say who the person I wanted to change to is?
Okay.
We don't have to talk about it long.
Okay.
But I just want to shout out Dirk as an honorable mention.
Okay, I was gonna say, look at this North American bias. They always put NA on top, but genuinely, I don't think. I scoured the stats, the VODs, looking for moments, and I just don't think there was any player in Europe this past week that was as impactful as the 3 players that we have up here. I mean, and that's not to say that the EU teams weren't doing well and that players weren't playing well. They were. I just think that these 3 people that we have up here went above and beyond what anyone in Europe did in the past week. Is that fair? Yeah. Or am I a biased NA viewer?
You had a bunch of different various players who popped up in random maps, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, the guys that we picked, I don't know about Deb in the first series. I didn't watch that one. But the guys that we picked was like literally Victor just popped off in one game, but Dicey saved the team after going in the lower bracket run, and he was every single game on. That's the difference.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would say
was
the
an
only
honorable mention,
merit,
though, I think.
Yeah.
the merit to that
no, he
point
wasn't.
you're making in terms of having individual impact. The only way I could swing that is if Fnatic are a very team play based team. I don't think there's any individual that needs to absolutely pop off for that team to win because they've got alpha year. They've got the entire team can come together and pop off at a given moment. It's not, they don't rely on Durka.
I mean, if anyone was the real hero, we're going to talk about Fnatic more in a moment, and maybe this is just a way for me to segue into talking about Fnatic right now. But if there were any hero, I think for Fnatic this weekend, it was Mystic.
Dude,
He
Mystic
fucking
was
saved them
nuts.
so many times.
Yeah.
Mystic was nuts.
He was saving them a lot. Mystic was playing very well in that series against FPX. I thought he was the critical factor that pushed them over the edge and actually allowed them to get that win. That and Guys, stop playing Fnatic on Icebox, for the love of Christ. The only team that's banded against them is Focus, and they weren't going to win anyway, so it didn't really matter, okay? But all the other teams, stop playing it. I mean, FPX are like, oh, we'll play them. We'll play them on Icebox. We're going to try some Yoru, see if that, like, just throw out some crazy stuff, see if it works. Didn't work. Stop playing them on Icebox, dude.
Yeah.
They've gotten a free win in every series. Come on.
The Icebox is disgusting.
ridiculous.
It is actually
Yeah.
disgusting. I don't, what do I even have for this as well? I mean, it's just there's so many layers ahead to how they think about Icebox when they're on the defense side. They have so many tools to disrupt constantly, whether it's Sova or Killjoy or when they have that online as well. Just always thinking about as well the compositions that they might be playing up against. Like they see the Angels playing Yoru and they just know to anticipate like the TPs up close. They're playing incredibly patient in terms of,
on Euro before, so it's like so easy for them to like understand what we have to do, like without even seeing the TPs.
but like they see the plan going down, they deny at least part of it. They do a bit of damage with the Sova ult, the Killjoy ult that comes down. I think this is, which round is this, Kurt?
On 9.
First one of Icebox. Yeah, that's this is just ridiculous, honestly, the coordination. Look at the way that they retake as well on back yellow here. Slow Up comes out there to give them a favorable fight as they're starting to clear. Artis can't do anything. He's stuck in place. And they got the shock darts to clear either side of it as the players are taking swings at the perfect times. The coordination that Fnatic are showcasing right now has all the makings of a very, very good team, a top team heading into LAN, an absolute favorite.
Okay. That makes me, that is why I am asking the question that is listed as the current topic, why I wanted to talk about this. Have any EU teams looked better than Fnatic heading into a LAN? So I'm talking about the teams that have, previously qualified for the international LANs from Europe. Are Fnatic the best an EU team has ever looked heading into a LAN? What do you think, Balla? When you're comparing them to like Liquid when they were on their run before Champions, Gambit before Berlin, old Fnatic when they made it to Reykjavik, or is this the best looking team heading into an event for Europe?
Yeah, I think without even a question, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I was thinking like, relative strength, like compared to the strength of competition back then. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a complete package. Like even the Gambit before Berlin, like they felt amazing on a fundamental level. They had decent ideas, but this Fnatic is ahead of the meta. They have crazy ideas and a lot of layers to those ideas. They're great on a fundamental level. They're supporting every single player on the team, which is something we saw flash up from OpTic as well, both at Reykjavik and now. I think this is an easy yes to me.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other teams like Ascend, Team Liquid. Team Liquid looked good because the double opping thing.
Well, what about
they brought
Mech?
in Vera, but Gambit heading into Champions.
Yeah, Gambit. Yeah, Gambit.
Yeah.
Heading into Champions.
Heading into champs.
I mean, I think possibly only because of the credit that you give them for winning Berlin that you know.
That's kind of unfair because we didn't see them for like 3 months or
and
something
when
like
we
that.
did see them, they got like 13-0'd. Remember? On Bind?
That's true. Yeah,
that was the only time we
exactly.
saw
That's
them.
true.
So I don't think that it can be them. I mean, the one that I'm comparing them to that I think would be the closest would be the Gambit of Berlin when they won out. But also
Wasn't before Berlin when we had doubts.
they ended up winning the Berlin qualifier.
Yeah, but
came in
we did have
first.
doubts because
They were still
came close
sloppy on one of their
in that
sides.
Team Liquid game.
Yeah, they were still sloppy on their. Was it their attack?
Well, yes,
side?
that Liquid game was what happened was in the qualifier, they were a bit shaky and they were getting close wins. They got a close win over Liquid for the qualifier match, and then in the playoff part, when they had already qualified, they crushed everyone and won. Like they even played on Haven with like the Redgar Reyna or whatever it was, and they smoked everybody. But I don't think that is as impressive as Fnatic look right now.
No,
I don't think.
I would agree. I think.
But I also think we have to temper it a little bit because we have way more evidence than we've ever had heading into outside of Reykjavik. But Reykjavik this year got screwed over. Last year we were playing that Gambit, for example. I was not putting any stock into that shit because it was seeding matches, and I was like, I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
it was much harder to
that matter.
Well, if you think,
So we'll see what happens in the next BO5s they're playing.
moments like this though, like where literally it's down to
this is
Enzo
such a
anchoring
good
and
round.
Mystics getting a flank here, and the heavy hitters of Fnatic, we don't talk about them being Mystic and Enzo. We don't talk about it being those players. But the fact now that they have players, I mean, moments like this, where this clutch by Mystic was just excellent, honestly. It's just really good patience when he's taking this fight the entire time. I mean, incredible flash, and then it comes off across here, and he doesn't overplay it at all. Just literally, really just squeezes the time out of it. But there's a couple of things that I think you need to be a top team heading into any tournament, like the very top team, like a favorite. You need to have good game plans in terms of your compositions, about how you execute them, how you think about the game, how you think about the enemy's composition and what they might do. Fnatic are doing that all the fucking time. They are always thinking about what ultimates the enemy has, what they might do with it, what their game plan is, how do they disrupt it. They have the talent on top of it. Alfie and Durka popping off. Mystic and Enzo, I think, have showcased, at least now, that it's Mystic's more than just the glue that holds this team together and plays the odd role. Like, Mystic actually does pop off every now and then for them. And they just look dangerous at the moment. They look so confident. They're playing off of each other with really, really good synergy. They look like the favorites, or one of the favorites, I would say. I'm not going to disregard it, North America just yet. But I think that they've showcased so much here that it's hard to doubt them at all. Assuming nothing goes wrong in terms of them being able to get to Copenhagen, which I doubt it will, but you never know. Shit might go wrong. I don't know. But assuming it doesn't, they have to be a favorite.
Connor, how do you feel? Are you just straight on the Fnatic train for this event?
I mean, I'm a North American simp. So, also, do you hear the roof being worked on right now?
It's like you're recording from the International Space Station. You've got your feed is lagging.
Dude,
the camera angle means it's like you're limited on space.
I mean, I kind of am in a way because I haven't set up a real dude. The room isn't fully set up. I'm using a half completed room.
Why do Misfits keep moving you around?
That's like somebody's walking.
I never let you settle on an office
above you. You're about to get
that's the roof. There's the roof. That's the roof being worked on right now. There's a lot of roofing work being done.
I thought there was a Valkyrie coming to take you to Valhalla. I thought that's what was going on.
All the points are distracting from the fact that I think they're going to be a favorite though, but I'm not going to say they're going to guaranteed win the event because I still believe in North America because I can't stop I bleed red, white, and blue, and that's a serious medical condition, but also it's true. It's just I can't help it. I just believe in North America.
I suppose that's fair. I also do want to say though, I think Fnatic are the best heading into a LAN from Europe that we've seen. I don't put them. I'm not head and shoulders above that Gambit Berlin run or anything. I would put it above it, but not by a huge margin. I'm tempering my expectations a little bit, though I do think they are the strongest we've seen heading into the event from Europe. Go on.
Kind of related, but
yeah.
We've been playing the FPX comp on Fracture.
Here we go. You're going to find a way to tie this. You're going to find a way to tie this into boomerangs.
I've been thinking, I am. I've been thinking, big limiting factor, lack of stuns. We get boomed a lot by operator players. Durka was pounding in this game.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean,
listen, I don't want to make parallels and compare us and FPX, but we're on a similar level.
Hopefully we don't face off against the Durka of boomerangs, the 40-year-old Durka Chamber in NA.
Chamber is in such a state that anybody can do what Durka's doing.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I'm not too certain on that.
I'm pretty sure
I'm not certain on that
two players that can do that. So I think I don't agree. You still have to be able to. I mean, just because you can TP away, you still have to hit the first shot. I mean, people. There's a limiting factor of aim.
Might be a little bit cap.
Yeah, just a minor amount of cap. Okay,
I'm leaving it.
At the top of this episode, I wanted to talk about the worldwide, the global heavy hitters from both regions. True or false? Will OpTic become the first dynasty in Valorant? Will they have an era? Do they look like they can do the back-to-back international win? Something that has yet to happen in Valorant so far. Do they look like the candidate for it? Connor, you bleed. True.
It doesn't matter. It's true.
But you
it doesn't matter. It's true.
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
What? Bren?
It's true. It's all true across the board. It doesn't matter. It's all true.
It's all true.
I've did the satellite uplink from the International Space Station to tell
you are in 40p.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
OpTic are going to back-to-back. It's going to happen.
They're going to
OpTic are going to back-to-back. I
back-to-back.
believe in this team. FNS is powered purely off of the hate combustion engine of everything that we've ever said to doubt him. He's going to power through that fucking event. He's going to power through that fucking event. Even though we've been constantly praising him for many weeks now, he doesn't forget. He doesn't forget. His gray matter works differently to where he remembers every negative thing anyone's ever said.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's literally.
Yep, they're gonna back-to-back.
Literally, Michael Jordan, The Last Dance memes. It's what fuels him, and that's why I will continue to doubt. So NA stays on top. Balla, what do you think the likelihood of the back-to-back is?
I'd say pretty good. They haven't qualified yet, so I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. But
Okay,
they should.
I'm not.
They should.
Nope.
And I think they easily can reach finals again, no problem. I think compared to the field, I think the only problem is winning that grand finals again. I see them as a lock for finals.
In Copenhagen?
a lock for the finals in Copenhagen.
I don't think.
I'm not
that's
mad
like
at that. I got to say, after watching that EG game, I was just like, all right, they're winning. They're winning everything for the rest of the year. They're winning everything, and I felt last year. I remember like after Gambit won Berlin, I definitely felt like they were a favorite to win champions, but I don't think I felt like how I felt now, which is. That I'm like, holy shit, this OpTic team is just not fucking around. And they look like they can actually do a back-to-back. Like that EG performance was so insane on many various levels of, I mean, your EG are no slouch team. They've got crazy firepower across the board, and Victor was just making them look silly. Yay in that game. Don't even really need to remember that he went like 36 and 17 or whatever. I mean, he just also popped off, but it was an afterthought. And then on top of that, just the team play and how Victor was being set up, especially on Haven with the Neon, was just amazing.
Out of this world.
And
it
then,
was out of this world.
By the
man.
way,
Jesus.
they're just good on Breeze now too, so they can just play every map. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, but
dude,
it is
am I too
contingent-
high off hopium,
Yeah,
Bren?
because
Okay.
it's
No,
because
no,
we're
you're not.
forgetting that a lot of their success is contingent on Victor having the good games. OpTic have always
But the thing is,
looked
they set him up so well, though. They set him up so well. It
but
seems hard for him
even when
not
they set him
to
up,
have
sometimes
good
Victor
games.
just doesn't have good games. He's been inconsistent in the past. Like OpTic are the kind of
think they
team
fixed
as well that I already know they're gonna be looking back at this episode with a chip on their shoulders as well. If you even criticize them the slightest,
You're just giving more power to the
I hope
FNS
so.
hate
I mean,
machine.
listen, hopefully it gives them fuel to just absolutely farm in
that's why-
Copenhagen. But they are pretty contingent on Victor having good games most of the time. He popped the fuck off.
I don't even agree. Yeah, sure, maybe
Dude, look
overall
at-
they've been
look at their
contingent at
recent
Reykjavik and
matches.
whatnot.
Find one where Victor wasn't playing as well.
Okay, and what are you trying to tell me?
And you're just
That
but
they-
the
that they
scoreline
still win?
ends up being much closer. Like when
Okay,
Victor's
exactly. So
But they
it's
still
like-
win. They still are. See, that's the thing.
but this is the different. This is the difference maker.
Okay.
OpTic will become the first dynasty in Valorant, right? I would say that this upcoming LAN, assuming nothing goes wrong with the EMEA teams, is more competition than there was at Reykjavik for them. Like more competition. And I think it's really important that he maintains this level of consistency that he did in this game, if you actually want this to be true. Because outside of it, they go from being a team that looks unbeatable when Victor's playing like this to a team that is beatable by other teams that are on a similar caliber for them. This is the point I'm trying to get across.
I think
that's fair.
that is fair. I think when Victor is entering and he's in the God mode where he's just winning his first duels with a crazy consistency, that is when we see here, where they just it goes over the top. They are just so good. You
cannot compete.
But yes, I think if he's getting shut down in regard to the first kills,
Or even just having a bad game. Sometimes he does.
they are they're still just they're amazing but beatable. But then you're talking about like, dude, Loud still look amazing. You got Fnatic, so there's a lot of competition, and I think you're right. That is the thing working against them the most, is that I think all the other regions are sending some pretty goated teams. Like I really think that, dude. I mean, I think when you're talking about, you got Loud, you got Fnatic. Dude, you got Zeta. There are
wow.
good teams going.
Here's another way to look at this question that I think probably helps. Anyways, is that just what they've proved this season and through Reykjavik, that they have done everything right after winning a championship. more than any other team has done so far. I think primed to win this tournament is something, but I also think that they're primed to win a tournament in the future. Even if they don't win Copenhagen, I think that this team has proved to me that they're going to win another chip eventually because of what iteration that they can do, the adaptation to the metas that they can do. It just, to me, seems very clear. And it doesn't seem like anybody is having an issue within the team itself. Like, I can't point to any single player and be like, this guy's not working with the team anymore. You know?
Right.
It's like just so consistent and improving at the same time, even when they're already the best of the best.
Yeah.
Nobody else has proved that to me.
No, for sure. I don't think there's any team after I just totally agree with you. I don't think there's any team after a LAN victory that came back and continued to try and innovate and push the meta forward in the way that they have. I don't think that has occurred. They have just not let their foot off the gas at all. Okay, I want to compare this past weekend then, as we're getting closer to an actual event. After watching the playoffs of NA and EU, which region do you think overall, just looking at all the teams, was better for playoffs week 1? And I think the tough part of weighing this up is that I think out of both regions, I think OpTic looked like the best team. And that's dragging NA up a bit. And that might be dragging NA up to counterbalance the fact that Ghost, I thought, looked awesome in the groups and then did not hit the same when it came time for the playoffs. What do you guys think, though, Connor? What do you think? Once again, are you just America all the way?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually gonna walk it back just because I feel like you said, the point about Ghost and also even EG a bit, though I think they still had like good moments.
Dude, they didn't play
but
as well.
I think overall EMEA probably across the board looked a little bit more consistent. But the thing is, the top part of NA though, that's the thing about America, is that we always forget about the bottom because we only care about the top earners, okay? the top teams, and that's what it's all about. So I think OpTic, XSET, they bring them up. Even Faze, like OpTic, XSET, Faze, and then of course NRG is in that top 4 for them. But like really, OpTic and XSET right now are looking. Yeah, they're looking pretty good, especially OpTic when Victor's on. Like their map control is out. Like their game they played. I don't even think EG. Like I think EG were just getting autopiloted by FNS. Like it didn't even feel like they were in the same. Like I feel like FNS knew what they were gonna do before they knew what they were gonna do. Like half the time, it was actually just
it was super readable in some capacity as well, which is the way they were playing. You just didn't get the same level of performance out of some of the players from EG. But I would say, and this is a rarity, I wouldn't say this often, but I would say EMEA was the better region this weekend, which I'm surprised to be saying, considering in the previous, like the previous episodes, I was saying I had given up on mech. I was like, dude, Liquid's done. Fucking every team's done. FPX can't settle on normal comps. They keep playing Yoru. But I think that the EMEA showed a higher level this weekend for playoffs comparative to NA. And I think that might just be as well because the lower bracket of North America, the way it kind of like hashed out, the way it ended up, with Faze and NRG now playing against each other, they played such close games, both of those teams, against one another, but also like 100 Thieves just couldn't scrap together a thrifty round, a half by round for the life of them. EG choked, in my opinion, as well. We didn't see the same peak from them. NRG, don't get me wrong, played really well. Faze also played really well. Definitely deserved their wins, but I think they weren't playing against those NRG and Faze. They weren't playing against the best version of the teams of 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses that I'd seen previously. I personally, I felt like I had seen higher peaks from both of those teams compared to those matches.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree with what you're saying, Bren. I think, this is so sad, but I think I have to go with EMEA too, because I feel like we just had a little switcheroo where the teams from NA that were looking awesome in the groups, that were the upcoming teams, they in their first playoff showing, when it really came down to the very important matches, I think that they were not as strong. And then on the flip side, in EMEA, Mech were just like, okay, we're just going to be good again. Mm-hmm. And then, Ascend started looking better towards the past few weeks, and Mech are playing well again. and I think Liquid were pretty good. I
Yeah.
think those teams stepped up, whereas the like same teams in that like second to sixth kind of area in NA slipped a little bit, and I think that's kind of weighing it up. I also think that like even talking about the top teams, if I were to try and rank the performances this weekend, I don't know if Ball, you could tell me if you agree with this, but I would put like OpTic 1. I think, dude, this is gonna. I don't even want to say it yet, but I might put Guild 2, but I'll put Fnatic 2 and then Guild 3. And then after that, probably like XSET. I think that like, and then maybe FPX. Like, I think the EU teams were all like just weighted higher, except for I think OpTic were just bar none. They were number 1. But
Sure. Well, I also think that this question may be a little bit unfair given the fact that the playoff teams for EU that we have are literally all super experienced playoff teams, some of them LAN experience, that sort of thing, who will show up at playoffs, versus NA's field was a lot more inexperienced teams, not necessarily ever fought for LAN, that sort of thing. So, like, give them a little bit more experience in that sort of regard, and maybe we would be having a different discussion. Maybe they wouldn't be getting knocked out early. I'm talking Ghost and EG. So yeah, I mean,
that's a really good
I think I
point.
agree with your ranking though, Wyatt.
okay.
There's no coincidence if you look
That's
at
fair.
it like Faze and NRG, the teams with some veteran presence on the team, people
Yeah.
with LAN experience. Faze with Bay poised as well, like the Rise core on that team as well, where they've been to events before. They played at NA LCQ for a game, I think.
They didn't. No, they
Big
didn't.
No, they didn't. Did they? They didn't. They just turned up not to play. But they definitely have match experience, and they've been around the
Right.
block and like hazed as
Yeah.
well. Like I don't think that's a coincidence that those guys ended up scraping
that's-
it out through those matches.
That is very, very fair. All right. Well, one of the teams that you mentioned having a bit of a, perhaps a weak performance or a less than ideal performance was 100 Thieves. They finished in 5th, 6th. They beat FaZe the first go around and lost the second. And in between, they got smoked by XSET and Cryo specifically on map 2. So 100 Thieves ended up finishing 5th, 6th, which is enough for them to make it to the LCQ, which is good because they barely got any points in stage 1. So they definitely needed that, or their year would have just been over, which would have been obviously very unfortunate. But is 5th, 6th, is this an acceptable result for 100 Thieves? Can we walk away from this and be like, this is okay? Because I personally feel like this is basically the minimum acceptable result for 100 Thieves is that they got enough points to make LCQ and their year isn't over. So,
You think this is a minimum? I think this is pretty fucking good.
oh, really?
For like a roster that you put together, like a roster with relatively green talent, I think if this team wasn't 100 Thieves, if they were like Hamster Gaming, people would be fucking going crazy.
The Thanos Mug Academy.
Like if this was anything other than the Hoodie org, I think people wouldn't be holding such high expectations over there. The high expectations on the head of this org as well, which doesn't help the players. But dude, I think this is a great showcase. I think they showed massive potential. And obviously, like, playoff scenario, whatever, they didn't end up pulling it through. There was a lot of mistakes from the members. I think on an individual basis as well, like, Asuna had some really bright moments in their final game, but overall, there was it was just lacking in terms of firepower from the team towards the end. I don't know whether that's just confidence or what, or just the whole idea of the playoffs got to them. But overall, listen, hide the 100 Thieves aspect. I think this team's done well. No?
No, I
Maybe
agree
take
with
in
you.
consideration where they were at the beginning of like their rebuild and everything, like how down in the dumps we were
Everybody
feeling
was.
about 100 Thieves. Like
Yeah.
this is a pretty remarkable turnaround for a roster in a short time period.
Yes.
To where also we felt confident that they were going to potentially still make it out and go deep into their playoff run and potentially go to Copenhagen, right? So it's an underperformance, but I don't think it's like the disaster that it's making out to be. It's more so like, okay, this is not exactly what we wanted from them, what we were seeing, but from like a GMing / organizational perspective, like after being in the trenches of the offices and being in the back offices now, multiple teams, to write like an organizational ship, it's like moving a fucking planet. It's like you have to like slowly but surely shift it around sometimes. Like unless you get like the fucking Churchill of esports, it's hard to like actually like sometimes make like a very drastic turnaround for teams. It's hard to like, it's hard. It can be really hard to like to really move it around this quickly. So for this much talent to move, and I think for this sort of result from them, it's an underperformance, but it's not like a disaster. It's kind of just like, oh man, like we should have done better than this.
That's kind of how I feel. Go on, Balla.
I think that at the beginning of the project, at the beginning of bringing everybody in and switching out the roster, this is probably like a high level goal, right? I think that looking at it, let's make playoffs and maybe we can make it towards, you know, fifth, sixth. Maybe we can have a couple matches played in that playoffs. I think that probably would have been the goal at the beginning of this. And I think it would have shifted as they actually had their group performance, as they realized their potential. And they're like, holy shit, like we could actually make it towards Copenhagen. Like that's very, very viable for us because we're not, you know, starting in the lower bracket, that sort of thing. So that might be why it feels like it's an underperformance, but I don't think it was. I think this is them realizing throughout that phase game that they aren't where they can be. They aren't where they think they should be yet.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really glad they're in LCQ.
Yeah, I wouldn't I definitely wouldn't categorize it as an categorize it as an underperformance either. I would say this was a performance. It was just they performed.
Okay.
They did not exceed expectation. They did not go below expectation. They simply met expectation with a very reasonable showing. But I think watching it, I feel like you can also just see that. It's like there's an awareness that they're capable of more too. And I mean, we saw it. We saw them in the group stage, you know, perform much better against XSET than when it came to playoff time, and they just got smoked. But again, that XSET team has played 1,000,001 deep playoff stages. Mm-hmm. They've been in these semifinal positions time and time again. And the 100 Thieves players don't have that same experience, and I think that definitely showed a bit, you know, in that kind of match as well.
I think also people forget that the leadership on the team, Sean, DDK, they're new to this as well. Anyways, Mike's as well has some experience, but like Sean specifically has never coached before, you know. And I think that came through in some of the games. I think some of the vetoes that they went for example, in the XSET game, in the TSM game as well, all the way back in groups, were definitely overlooked a little bit, and with the skill set that the team had at the time, probably shouldn't have been gone for. But you could tell, maps were being developed, strategies were being implemented, yada yada yada, throughout the season. And I think this is a great. I think this is a success for the team. Maybe not great success, but I think this is a success. I think everybody at 100 Thieves should be happy with this.
I think that's pretty fair. I want to talk about Ghost Gaming because I feel like they're kind of fallen into this similar camp of 100 Thieves. So I think possibly the expectations for Ghost were even higher, and they fell even shorter than 100 Thieves. The question asked is, were Ghost Gaming overrated all along? And I would say no. I mean, I think that they were playing an elite game throughout the group stage. I think
they were innovating
in regards to innovation.
Yep.
Team play, the swiftness in their decision making on the fly, the player skill. I think they had it all. I think that they were showing an elite level in the group stage, and they were one of the teams that I think the inexperience was their downfall. I don't think they were overrated. I think that their inexperience showed when it came time for the critical matches in the playoffs, but they were not overrated from their time in the groups.
Yeah. No, I mean, I pulled some examples of just moments where I thought if you looked at group stage Ghost and compared them to this, you'd be left a bit confused, I think, because there's a lack of confidence in terms of them playing off each other, like trying to trade each other out, swinging to take fights. I mean, not the exception being like Koala Noob here, like the guy's just running in between the pyramids, ripping people's heads off. But like the wall, I'm assuming just doesn't get calmed that it's going down, so he gets caught out of position. Nismo's like feeling like he has to do something here at the back of the site, but he's got no one to play off of with him. He's like trying to make solo plays, but he is like completely separated from the rest of his team. Like look at the positions of everybody else, and no one's buying time for this flank to come through double doors. There was something off in this playoff game. There were many moments you could pull from that were like this. I mean, also, how many times did fucking Ethan just stick this? in this game. It was like multiple times. It was like multiple times. But it happened a lot where the ghost of group stage would have been just one hive mind is what they felt like sometimes when you're playing against them. Yeah. And the tiniest of missteps, like the tiniest things, like the wall going down and Koala not being ready for it. Nismo playing by himself. Like there's this as well. They're trying to deal with the entire time in this instance. Like Tech's playing such an aggressive role. The way he plays Chamber is like he's willing to disrespect utility that's sent his way to clear him out. So you really do have to be careful when you're clearing the shit. But like, look at this. They're just getting bogged down trying to push for a Viper wall and a Molly. And all these Omen smokes are up. Like there's no more time on the clock, so they don't feel confident enough to cancel the hit anymore. They still want to commit, but the players have already rotated. This actually ends up looking super winnable in this instance. But if you remember this round, NRG were blessed by God and got away with murder. Like this shit that Ethan pulls is outlandish. Actual child game moment. He's fucking running and gunning through this shit. But again, they're not holding positions for each other when they know time's getting low and they have to hold the plant in time. They end up getting, the Ethan kill's unlucky. But there were so many instances of this where they just weren't playing like they did in group stage. And I don't want to keep reiterating the same point, but to try and tie it back, I guess, were they overrated all along? I agree with your point. I don't think they were. I think this team showed so much promise and they showed such a high level during the groups that expecting them to falter here in playoffs is reasonable when you consider where these players have come from, like just with the level of experience that they've got. Like it's a very valid thing. We've seen it multiple times now where teams will just crumble because they don't have that playoff experience. And doesn't
that mean that they're overrated, like by virtue of it?
Yeah, some would say. Some would say. But
that's a glass half empty POV.
For me, I didn't pred Ghost to win. To make it to Copenhagen.
because I predicted them.
Yeah, I did the favorites. My expectation was that Ghost would do some damage, but I didn't think they'd make it to Copenhagen. So from my perspective, they weren't. I didn't think this performance was completely out of nowhere. I could see that it was a world. There was a world where it happened, where they just underperformed.
Yeah. I think throughout the groups, their performances warranted what we hyped them up to be. Like it was insane. Wyatt, you're absolutely right. But then they go 3 series in a row, picking the same 2 maps that are none of their strengths. But I mean, sure, they were undefeated on Breeze, whatever. But that's 3 series in a row. The first 2 maps are the exact same. Everybody's watching that. And they just get shit stomped, and they don't play the Fade Raze at all throughout the entirety of playoffs. It's disappointing, and to me that does not make them overrated. It just means that I didn't get to see what I expected from them, which was all that stuff that made them so exciting in the first place.
Yeah, I think that pretty fair. Unfortunate that we may never see them play again. I mean, we'll see what happens because they don't get into LCQ, which sucks, even though they won 4 games in the group stage, but they don't get into LCQ. And
they got a franchise slot, though. They're getting franchising, for sure. They've definitely...
Oh, no, we'll talk about... we're going to save Sentinels for last, but I did just want to say that...
Sentinels?
I did just...
We get to talk about Sentinels?
Make sure it's a little bait, like, ooh, you want to hear about 10s? Make sure to stick around until the very end of the episode. You know what I mean? Listen, you got to keep a little bait on the line for the viewers, you know what I mean? Oh, we're going to talk about 10s. Ooh, who should they cut? Okay, but seriously, though, Ghosts don't make LCQ, which sucks, and... are they going to play Knights Weekly Cups, or is it just...
They're going to get franchising. They're going to get a $1 billion investment, and they're going to get franchising.
Thank you for your insight, 20p Connor.
No problem. No problem.
Because
what can I say?
Cool. Yeah. 6 months from now, let's go.
I've seen a lot of doom and gloom from the players being like, man, the partnership franchising model, whatever the hell they're going with, they're like, it's terrible. It's going to stifle competition, blah, blah, blah. There are valid arguments, don't get me wrong, but players also, from my experience, have a very short-sighted kind of timeline view of how they see just their careers, I suppose. It's very much like on a week-to-week basis type beat, which I can't blame them, because most people you don't get like an offer of being like, yeah, you'll come join our team in 6 months. Like, that's incredibly rare, unless you're T1, you're handing out the bag to people to join and you're building for franchising. But if you showcased the talent that Ghost did, no doubt in my mind, those players should be finding a spot at the very highest level of competition. There's unless there's some copious amounts of just corruption and tomfoolery occurring at the very top, where the egg enthusiasts get a spot before Ghost. But what they've showcased, I just don't.
Hey, don't worry, guys. We missed a deadline, but we're applying. Don't worry.
We'll apply at some point.
We'll be applying for franchising. Don't worry.
I can't see a world where the players, where they've showcased this much talent, do not get opportunities in the future.
I think the players will get opportunities, but I think it's hard to imagine that we're going to see
the team together.
Unless suddenly,
they're not going to stay as the same roster. It's not going to happen. Like franchising, when we've seen this before with Overwatch, like it's just booming. The rosters are going to be split up. It's going to be cannibalized.
Well, you say that,
and then they're all going to be fighting each other. Then there's all sorts of other stuff. So
you say that, but new orgs getting into a scene do not want to scout and build a new roster. They would much rather pick up an existing roster. And so if Ghost don't get in, I think it's way more likely that somebody picks up the entirety of this team.
Yeah, but then you're talking.
LG'd.
You're looking at Ghost versus LG, who are just free agents. You know, it's like, I mean, it depends on also the Ghost contract situation, and then I don't know. But the thing is, too, I could also see teams like, I could see teams wanting to just like for LCQ or whatever, like just sign Nismo. You know, like someone like that needs like Cloud9 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just bring in a heavy hitter like that to come play initiator and get vanity plate smokes. Like, I could see something like that occurring. You know what I mean? And at that point, I feel like it's tough to say no as a player, even though so much effort has been put into the project, because the way the system is set up, there's just there's no future for the team. Unfortunately, that seems to be the reality.
I'd like to see. Do we know how many slots are at LCQ? 8. Okay. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more, just to have more opportunities and have the bottom section of any team.
I mean, I mean, Ghosts, but I don't feel the exact same way, but I feel a similar way about like Pittsburgh Knights too. Like, dude, Scuba and Ban were bonkers, and they had a good showing too. And then they're just not an LCQ. They didn't get enough points, and their run in the open qualifiers was way tougher for them than it was for Sentinels, who are there. But we're going to talk about Sentinels later. Don't worry, guys. At the end of the episode, we're going to talk about Sentinels. Okay. Question. Faze or NRG? Who would be better for NA at Copenhagen? If you're an NA fan, who do you want to see carry the torch at Copenhagen?
Or performance question?
He's running out on stage with the flag. Who do you want?
It's Faze. It's Faze, 1,000,000%. Baby Bay walks out on just a neon slide onto the stage. There's pyrotechnics. He flexes, busts out the shirt, and like, I mean, it's gotta be Faze. Like Faze, like that team is not just because like the attitude and like just they feel America, but also because like I just like how they play. I love how Faze plays, and I love and I like there's nothing wrong with NRG by any means. Like, I think NRG, they got a great squad and they've had people with very good experience and everything. But like, if you're talking about the team I want to rep, I mean, that wants to rep America, you got to get Faze out there. Like that team's gonna set Copenhagen aflame with their they're gonna go crazy out there.
This question is implying that whatever team wins this upcoming match will beat the team in the loser finals, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, sure.
It does.
It's fun. And that won't necessarily be the case. It's just, these two teams are playing. Yeah, just theoretically, which of these two would you rather see rep NA at Copenhagen?
I think
who would do better?
These two teams have more similarities than at first glance as well. I would be happy with either. There's a bit of a cop-out answer, but I don't think there's a proper answer for this. Both of these teams playing opponents incredibly closely. NRG have had like a recent resurgence in terms of their form. Same with Faze, I think. If you consider their group stage performance at the beginning, they've been getting better and better and better. I think that the strengths of these teams often lies in the mid-rounding, and a lot of the heavy hitters as well just performing incredibly well. Players like Tex and Dicey for each team, respectively. They have a lot of similarities in terms of the way that they end up playing. And I have no clue who's going to win that match. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I think whatever team, if a team, either of these teams, made it to Copenhagen, I think they could do some serious damage. Like, I'm not going to lie. Whoever loses the OpTic XSET game, I think you need to be worried about going up against the winner. Because, my God, I think there is just some potential for chaos to just erupt in the server. Just chaos everywhere. Yeah. And any team that goes up against like NRG or Faze, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, you're going to have a round where Dicey might just choose to glass operator and push cave and kill 3 of you. Like, he will disrespect you. He will push you to the point where he will not play optimally, but he's still going to win out because he's more skilled. And I think both of these teams show elements of that.
I mean, these are just the for the audio listeners, they're just the rounds that Faze, the thrifty rounds that Faze won against 100 Thieves on Breeze, which that tipped the scale. It's like the same thing when we were talking about Faze EG the other week when they beat EG. Faze just win all of the critical economic rounds with a wild consistency. A lot of it because of Dicey being on Chamber and the fact that you get a Guardian for 800, but it's not even just him. It's the other players too. Like, Superman is just going to do something crazy with the Sheriff. Like, there's just shit like that happening.
Leaning into agents.
It's bonkers. And they also, though, Faze love to hero rifle, which also helps them on their half-buy eco rounds. They will hero rifle a lot, and they can get away with it because they have a neon in a chamber, and their ults are free weapons. So they can afford to hero rifle in a lot of rounds. So, I mean, here we go. Dude, they just
perfect timing.
Running around with the laser beam. I mean, these rounds are just so sad. And Poise, I felt like Poise, I don't know. I don't even feel like. I know Poise was fucking crazy in this series. I mean, Dicey was going off. At this point, you can just expect Dicey to go like plus 20 in every game. But Poise was an animal in this series. He really, I mean, this play in this round, he won the round for them with that 3K. As we're about to watch this super Sag 1v1 that Superman wins to against Stellar to win this pivotal round for the game. And if I have to see one more person type, why didn't Stellar shoot him when he is on the spike? I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm seriously, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna have to leave the show. I'm gonna lose my mind. So that's a total aside.
Why don't you shoot him with the Vandal?
He's just your position. Shoot him. Simply shoot him.
Crosshairs on him.
I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Okay, but what I am going to talk about is that I want Faze. You
want Faze?
Yes, I would. Listen, I like James Cobb. I like his leadership. I like his style. And he has a nice beard. But I am taking Faze. I would want Faze to phase up at Copenhagen.
Well,
I think they've got the confidence. They've got the fucking gusto. They've got the will to win. And I think that Baby Bay and Dicey can compete with the best duelists in the world because I think they are some of the best duelists in the world. And it's, for me, more of a matter of the other guys being on point.
You bring up good points. But let me bring up some counterpoints. Because, dude, I have... when I was looking at NRG, I had a nerd moment. Absolute Jimmy Neutron brain blast. I'm watching back some of the games, and I thought during the games as well, and I'm thinking, my God, NRG, they win a lot of half-buy rounds. And I'm like, what? Dude, they win so much. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, Texas playing Chamber all the time for them. It's probably a huge part of it. But I actually pulled the numbers. I have hard digits. And I'm plugging my own Twitter for this one. Dude, NRG, I was pulling all the numbers for this
wasn't
shit.
On the show this week.
I'm role-playing Josh for this one. Actual role-play moment. I just need to shave my fucking head. Round win percentage when a team is on eco or half-buy. This is considering, so this is playing against ecos, half-buys, whatever, when they're in, this is against all other rounds, but the sample size of this is also pretty low for certain teams because they haven't played as much. Teams like OpTic, XSET, LG only played 1 match with this. If you exclude that, NRG are at the top in terms of their round win percentage when their team is on an eco or a half-buy. They are on top in first. If you scroll a little bit down, Kurt, as well, you can. I just want to show the people the sample size of it in general. This is their round win percentage when they're at 10 to 20k in their loadout. If you think about it, like full armor and a rifle on everybody is just under 20k, but that's never going to happen. So a team that full buys is always going to be over 20k. So this is when they're not working with everything. And they're still just large and in charge. There's a big difference between them and a lot of the other teams. You can see the difference, the gulf between them and 100 Thieves. And then if we want to get really fucking nerdy for a second, Weltis was giving me advice at the bottom.
Here we go.
Dude, If you go onto the one where I'm like pity farming engagements, there if you click on not the sharpest tool in the shed, where I call myself an idiot, not the Sliggy one. We can give Sliggy some clout. Sliggy can get some clout. There you go.
Like,
Sorry, if you click on, I haven't really fucking planned this very well. There we go. Welters was helping me out. Welters is the stat guy who works on VCT. Scroll down all the way. I ended up pulling more numbers for him and click on the thread with Weltis. This is so fucking complicated. Sorry, Kurt. There it is. There it is. The numbers, Kurt. The numbers. What do they mean? What do they mean? Pull it up. So look at this. This is their round win percentage when on eco or half buy versus the full buy. So this is only looking at the numbers when they're going up against this. Now you can see the numbers at the top. Some teams have not had exact, like, look at it. Like OpTic, XSET, they will dominate in their games. So they were never really on an eco or a half buy against a full buy. Sure. NRG were though. And look at the difference between teams that when they were having close games against. 100 Thieves, 10 wins versus 32 when they're on this shit. Versus NRG, who were ahead by 52%. How do they have an above average win percentage when it comes to their round win percentage when they're on lower money? Like, it shouldn't make sense. But this is like a major win condition currently for NRG in the playoffs and how they're playing. And honestly, it's not even text a lot of the time. You think off the back of your head, we can start running some random clips of just the NRG stuff that I pulled. Dude, I don't want to talk all the time here for NRG, but this is a bit of a difference maker for them. Is that this is the thing that's given them the edge against these teams? Is that Tex is willing to just be an absolute nutcase with the tour de force of the headhunters. He'll set something up, but the rest of the team is always ready to pivot and make a mid-round adjustment based off Hayes' calls, which I think is a really underrated aspect of this team that we're not really talking about as much. But the mid-rounding is one of the best things. Twitter.com/Brencast, expert analysis, insane numbers. You can follow my Twitter and give me a bit more clout. You can give me the 60K followers. At 60K followers, I'm going to be giving away a free VOD review of the new Pearl map. I'm going to be doing that one live on my Twitch. Guys, I gotta stop talking. Somebody else say something.
What was he cooking?
Oh my god! I mean,
what was he cooking this whole time?
This is what happens when Bren has.
Pot. What was he cooking?
He's got 500 milligrams of caffeine coursing through his veins right now. This guy is going nuts off the Red Bulls.
He's going crazy. This guy he's doing. You're dropping the hottest collab of 2022, and it's a fucking math dissertation, and it's you and Matt Lou, the fucking hottest album of 2022 over here. I mean, legitimately nerd moment. I mean, I'm glad the lecture's done, Professor. But cool. But it was cool stuff.
But no, listen. Okay, listen. I think the interesting thing with that, though, one of the interesting things is that it does directly correlate to chamber usage. If we're being fucking real here, because NRG, Tex is always on chamber, Dicey is always on chamber. They win a ton of those rounds. 100 Thieves don't play chamber because Stellar had a bad performance on Haven when they let Haven in the pool, and then he just never played chamber again for some reason, even though he was pretty consistently dropping like 18 to 22 on it. Well, I don't know why they decided to do that. Cypher, they love Cypher. But yeah, I mean, it is directly correlated with that. It's as if chamber's good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's almost
we've arrived to the point where we are realizing, wait a second, chamber's good.
I think as
I've
well.
heard some hubbub on the street about chamber. Heard some hubbub.
I was looking for round examples to try and pull where it was the chamber that was the difference for NRG.
Yeah,
and I honestly couldn't find super hard evidence for it.
Oh, okay.
Like, seriously, like they just the difference
Chamber's
is
not good.
No, chamber is good. It's there's definitely a correlation there.
Yeah.
But with NRG, the strength of it comes down to their mid rounding and their willingness to take risks and their understanding of win conditions during rounds. Some teams like 100 Thieves are so prepped, like they have an idea of how they want to come into a round, that you don't see them. From my perspective, when I'm watching their games, I don't see them taking as many risks when they're playing on a half buy or an eco. NRG don't give a fuck. They are willing to, off the fly, like if of a tiny bit of information, someone will make a call and plays will be made. Tex will push a smoke. Like Hayes will make the call to just push through their spawn or something. There's a great round of their mid rounding, which is their game on Split. And I don't think it's necessarily a half buy round, but I think it's an example of just like something that most teams would get a bit bogged down in this situation of like an A execute, it goes a bit skew with, they're trying to execute onto the site, but then EG come back out with their own Cosmic Divide and they just recontest really, really fast. Like the hit goes wrong. A lot of teams here would still just keep butting their heads against this and trying to exec onto the site. But Hayes is just going to contact in, he gets his pick, and he just makes a call. He's like, guys, we're flipping the map. We're going in their spawn. And they do the great pilgrimage to the other side of the site. And listen, this round is not fucking clean. It's not clean in the slightest. But these kind of little plays that just add that element of chaos is where teams like NRG thrive. And it's where teams that are a little bit more structured are always going to be struggling to come up with answers for it.
Okay, so suffice it to say, you're going with NRG. Yeah, it would be better.
Yeah, I'm
for all
going
of
So
us.
you've committed pretty heavily.
Go with NRG. All right, wait.
You've committed pretty heavily there.
This was the story for them last season too. That I think even with Android was that they were good with eco rounds. Like you remember all those games, those close games against OpTic, against Sentinels. That was basically it. So I don't necessarily see that as like NRG's gonna win because they're good at half buys or whatever. I think that they need more than that to actually be contenders right now. To me, I still don't think that they're proving it to me. This is one of those instances, the stupid pundit analyst takes that was more about it was more about EG and Ghost than them, to be honest. I'm happy that they're like committing to not running Yoru and stuff like that. They're going back to the comfort and whatever, and even Sam on Jett on Breeze was very, very, very fucking welcome. But for the most part, they still don't have something for me to latch onto that makes them exciting. And therefore, Faze, Connor got me fucking feeling patriotic back then with the Baby Bay running out. You know,
Dude,
you got me,
dude, imagine Baby running on stage, man. Imagine it.
George gets tweeting there, tickets are going to go on sale soon for Copenhagen. So, with the crowd, bro, yeah, fuck yeah, Faze. No,
And it's Faze, and an international LAN event. Like, come on, man. Like, that's just, it's all wrapped up in the threads of fate. Like, it's just all there. It's all there. And then Baby's going to wear in his threads of fate. He's going to be looking fresh as fuck at the LAN, and it's going to go hard. It's going to go fucking hard. I'm telling you, man. You got to send Faze to Copenhagen. It's going to go it's going to go fucking crazy if they make it. It's going to go crazy.
Just send them. No, they'll be better on stage. It'll be a better show. Just send them. They got to script it out. So Baby goes, all right. XSET, though, they are in prime position to go. Yes. Some may say this is XSET's qualifier to lose in a way. Some may say it. Okay? But what I really want to latch onto here, though, is this XSET duelist conversation because Stellar made the fatal mistake of saying something critical about the team you're about to play in an interview. First of all, 100% of the time, if a player ever says something critical about the team that they're about to play, implying they're going to win, they lose 100% of the time. I want to make that fucking clear. It always happens. Players, stop doing it. Stop doing that. Okay? But
no, it's funny. Please continue. It's really fucking funny.
It is amusing, and it's like juicy for the conversation, but also for your own good. You got to stop doing it. So Stellar did that. That's why they lost to XSET. And the point that he was making was that he felt like XSET would be easier to play than Faze because XSET don't have the heavy hitter duelists that Faze do, comparing Zekin and Cryo to Dicey and Baby Bay. So I kind of want to do that comparison of them with Baby Bay and Dicey, but also just in general, XSET look like they are in position to finally qualify for the thing. They can't finish in fourth. Yep. They can't do it. They're finishing in third at worst.
They can make it to Copenhagen and play Guild for the fourth place spot.
Yep. They can.
That is a reality we could live in.
Mm-hmm. That is a possible reality. So I want to compare and try and rank Cryo and Zekin, not just against the other NA duelists, but against the other teams that we know are attending, like from EU. Like, how do they stack up against like Durka and Trex? I want to have that conversation because Cryo also went fucking bonker bananas on Ascent. When they threw him back on Jett and he went crazy. But for the most part, he's just been playing Chamber, and I think he's had a pretty reasonable stage. In the group, sure, reasonable. Wasn't blowing me away. Wasn't a pro. I mean, he was good. Zekin was playing Jett for a lot of it, and he had some pretty solid Jett showings. Mm-hmm. But how do you guys feel about? First, we can start with Faze, since that was the actual.
Well, how do they stack up against that?
Yeah, how do you think they stack up against Dicey and Baby Bay?
I think playoffs Cryo is a different beast entirely. So, I mean, in terms of how XSET would stack up against Faze,
Yeah, just in the duelist
In the
skill.
raw diff.
Yep.
Well, actually, I think any team, NRG or Faze, if XSET end up losing this match and go up against them, I think this is actually a pretty bad matchup for XSET, because I think XSET thrive against teams that they are a bit more prep heavy. They play in a more orthodox manner. You know what I mean? If a team injects a little bit of fucking nonsense in, you just know somebody saying, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" And like that it adds up over a game, you know. I just feel like XSET are that kind of team where they want things to go as expected, and if something is off by a slight margin, I think that's where that team will have difficulties keeping up. I don't know if you guys agree with that statement.
I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
I've kind of asked another question in response to your question.
Yeah, you have. But I want to send it to Balla then on the duelist comparison. I mean, shit, you can compare them to NRG too, because I'm just assuming they're going to lose to OpTic. I would imagine OpTic are going to win that game. But how do they stack up?
I feel like Cryo is nasty, but I feel like he was slumping this season. Not necessarily like just underperforming or anything like that. Yeah, I think he was hard slumping. Last season's group, he was fucking like plus 50 ACS or something like that, like some ridiculous number. And playoffs he stepped up, but it required him playing Jett. So I'm not super thrilled with the chamber performance all season long. Second is okay. I would probably put Dicey Baby Bay slightly above them. I'd probably put them slightly above NRG. But like looking across the pond, I'd actually say that they're probably better than Mex duelists right now, like Defo and Chronicle, which is fucking crazy. But I think they'd probably be more consistent than they are, and Chronicle's in the middle of a switch. But other than that, I don't think they stack up. I don't think they stack up to Fnatic. I don't think they stack up to OpTic. I don't think they stack up to FPX, like Artists and fucking Angel sometimes.
See, I kind of disagree. I mean, I definitely disagree. I don't. Fnatic, I'm not going to argue against. I think Fnatic and OpTic right now are neck and neck in my head in terms of favorites to win Copenhagen. Just without a doubt. But I don't know. Put some respect on the. Start repping the fucking set, huh? Listen. Put some respect.
I've been trying, man. I've been trying. They just like they still have to do something. I know
the narrative's already been set. The narrative's already been set by me. The narrative's been set where everyone's like, the narrative is just, no one's excited by them. They're just
you gotta say that after this playoffs performance.
But the thing is, I'm not.
Why
But the thing is,
they fucking moved up by 1 place, Bren. It's not like they broke the fucking like. They broke a curse. It's 1 placement above. That's the easiest time they've ever had. Like,
ignore the curse shit. Fucking Cryo cells, typically what we've seen now is a consistent correlation where he will turn up with playoff performances. Zekken is also playing really fucking well.
Mr. fucking math guy too does not make a fucking correlation, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
No, it's a direct correlation. It's a direct correlation. I know stats. It's a direct correlation.
No.
Zekken, I think, is playing really fucking well on top of it. But listen, sneak. Listen, this is subtle, but people haven't really recognized this. But the fucking big guy buff is real. BCJ, I think, is playing some of the best Valorant he's played in a long time. No.
what are you talking about, man?
I'm trying to get some respect put onto XS's name here. I'm trying to put some.
But I do respect them. I'm excited by them. They're like your dad, man. I respect my dad. I respect my dad, but does he excite me all the time? Does he make me? Does he like? No, not necessarily. Like that's XSET, man. Like they're just respectable. They do good work. I mean, like keep it up. Like we're gonna go on tonight. We're gonna go on 2 family vacations a year. Like once again, like it's always good shit. But like
I mean, very apt given that during the match, Def was dressed like a dad. I mean, dude, as soon as you start wearing the quarter zip sweaters, you're a father. I don't know what to tell you. You're a father.
Yeah.
But listen, he was leading the team well. Def. Dude, listen, I'm going to call him Rory. He's been very good. He's been very good this stage. He's been awesome this stage. Matter of fact, individually, dude, Def has been awesome this stage. But he's also not a duelist. Okay.
Look at only at the duelist. Look at only at the duelist. Cryo and Zekken.
Yes.
I think they could stack up well.
Against who?
Against FPX, against.
Okay.
I think against any team that's not.
I actually do
I think
agree with
OpTic
that.
and
I think they
Fnatic,
do
I think, are
stack up
the
against
only
each
two
other.
I
teams
might
currently with firepower to contest them.
I think Cryo. I would rate Cryo and Artist kind of close. I kind of rate them close, actually. I think Zipan, Raze, Zek and Raze, you're close. I think Artist Chamber, Cryo Chamber, you're close. I think Jett, Cryo's better. That's how I would stack that up.
Yeah.
Okay? But, yeah, Fnatic. Dude, I would... Okay, the thing is, I think Zekin's Raze is really strong. I would put him up there with Alfear, and I would.
Oh, that's some fucking
That's
cap,
spicy.
bro.
That's spicy.
I think Zekin's Raze is really good.
It's good, but it's never been fucking bonkers like Alfie. That guy has been.
Alfear wasn't bonkers against
Bonkers.
FPX. He was good. He was okay.
He was pretty bonkers.
He was
pretty
not. He was like 15 and 15. He was not bonkers.
But he didn't need to put up
What's
big
he
numbers.
fucking talking about? By the way, I forgot that XS only played one fucking match in the playoffs, and
They played other games too.
But how, dude? Okay.
They played other games too. Okay. No. I'll concede that. Sure, Alfear is marginally better than Zekin at Raze, but I think compared to other Razes, I think Zekin is up there with the cream of the crop. Especially the Razes that are left. Come on, what are the Razes? There's like
he's
Bane plays
good,
it
he's
Unbind.
good.
Victor's Raze is
he's
good, but do you really think he's like way better than Zekin? I think that's like close, if not.
yeah, that's.
I think that's
Okay,
close.
That's fair. That's
and then
fair.
NRG, it's
Yeah.
Psalm. Zekin's better than Psalm at Raze, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So
Sure.
then we got Alfear. Sure, I'll concede that one. I think him and Zipan are close. Zipan's pretty crazy on Raze. And Trex. I mean, Trex is really good too. I'm not gonna lie. Trex is pretty fucking nasty.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, Trex is fucking good.
I mean, actually, I would. Okay, you know what? I'm conceding I give up on my own point.
Dude,
Zekin
well,
is
it's
no
like
longer.
we're all trying, we're all
He's
trying to
really
fight the
good, but-
narrative. We're all trying to fight the narrative, but it's too late. I've built the narrative. The narrative is there. It's too late. I built it. It's already been established, and now they have to work extra hard. They're gonna have to work extra hard to defeat it. This is their chance, though. They have a chance. They have a chance to
Yeah.
beat it.
Work extra
They do.
hard.
So wait, okay.
Mortgage at the age of 30.
So was Stellar right all along? Was Stellar right? He just cursed himself by being right.
No,
I mean,
I
they
think
match
this
up
team
good
does have
against
heavy
the.
hitters.
They match up good against 100 Thieves duelists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
100 Thieves duels
No,
are
you're
kind
right.
of
Oh, I mean,
flopping.
now listen.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right about that one, buddy.
but you're
The
asking
world's-
against the world's best, bro. Like.
I mean, it might be a
talking-
land. We got to compare
And
them to
by
the
the
world's
way,
best.
we
They might be
fucking
there.
just only fucking compared to EMEA. We just forgot about Ospas.
Also,
we
I
forgot
mean, yeah,
about
what
that's
about
not even a
Ospas?
conversation.
Yeah,
Hold
I
up.
mean-
That's not even a conversation. Let's be real. Okay, that's not even. No one's talking about that. That is just not even a conversation. All right.
I'm like
That's
trying to
just not
fucking
a thing that's happening.
go through the worst EMEA teams to try to find another fucking raise that's better than second. Like, I don't need to do
I
that.
mean, hold on. Okay. How does Cryo stack up against
Oh my god.
RB?
Are
I'm
we,
losing it. I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
What do you? No,
What's
you're losing it
happening?
because you're crashing from all the
I
caffeine.
am.
That's why you're
I'm
losing it.
crashing
That's
from
the
caffeine.
problem.
I'm fucking
You got
dying.
too much caffeine.
I'm
Not
fucking
enough
dying.
water, and you're crashing.
Well, like
That's
an
the
hour
problem.
30 in, I'm dying.
I mean,
fucking
dude,
dying.
you got to get some water in your body. Okay, that's the problem. No, but I mean, I'm dead serious. How does he stack up against when you're thinking about you got you got Zeta, you got like 10 playing Rays. You got Depp
Fucking
playing duels.
godlike.
You got Laz playing Chamber. So I mean, dude, Cryo's not different than Laz. I'm sorry, that's just not. Laz is just crazy. That's not going to happen. Bren played TF2 and 5. It is true. He did play TF2 until 5 a.m. last night. This guy is losing his shit. Wait, dude, I can't even remember. Who is on
You've
DRX?
lost it. You've
Kurt,
lost
What
it.
is
You've
their
lost the
roster?
plot.
Put some of my TF2 clips
Who's
up.
on the team?
I don't want a TF2 clips.
Buzz,
first, man.
Buzz,
Put some of mine.
Buzz. Buzz RB. Buzz RB, man.
Buzz and RB. Oh my god, this is
oh,
devolving.
it's over, bro.
Oh, dude,
it's
Gen.G.
over.
I mean, there's no way. There's no
And
way, man.
Forsaken. I mean, dude, it's just.
Yeah.
Unlucky. I mean,
And then we haven't even talked about the underground Chinese Valorant stars we're going to see at the international
Holy
events.
Yeah,
that,
what-
you know,
How
haven't
does
even talked
Cryo
about them
compare
yet.
to SK Rossi? That's the real question at hand. Okay, I'm gonna have a heat stroke. I need to get some water.
too, bro,
and I need to take we're taking the official Plat Chat break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Bye. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Thank you for the support. Thanks for all the
Fucking
super
losing it.
chats and the
losing it.
memberships. I'll put a different song on this week. There was a lot of haters of the song last week, so I'll find a new one, okay? And we have chat open now, so we can actually read it. I don't know that. Oh, there it is. This is a good song. Okay, perfect. All right. Everybody's taking a bathroom break. How y'all doing, chat? I think this episode has flowed pretty well. Shout out to Wyatt for the nice hosting. Shout out to everybody for being here. Shout out to Connor for looking like Santa. I think I was thinking I should make a compilation of just Connor's setup over the past couple of months. Wait, I think this is a different version of the song. Anyway, it's probably a meme. Yeah, this is a memes version of the song, whatever. Got a nice little remix in there. Appreciate the love, y'all. I hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast. We have... Dude, that's so distracting. We have NA match predictions and a bunch of other thick, juicy topics coming up. And we unironically will be talking about Sentinels and Zeta Division at the end of the episode. I know a lot of people want to talk about... I'm going to turn this song off. Sorry. A lot of people want to talk about APAC. We will get to that probably next week. But no APAC once again. I'm sorry, Paper X fans.
Well, their playoffs didn't even really start, so it's hard to talk about them.
So yeah, that's exactly why. So let me find the actual version of the song. I found a 3,000 view version that just has like a little yippee guy screaming in the background every once in a while.
Kurt, Yaster has a question for you. He says, "What is the disembodied voice's name?"
Kurt, that's me.
That's Kurt.
I think this is the one that's not remixed. Either way. We were promised Zeta talk? No, Zeta is Zeta APAC? Zeta's Japan.
I mean, they could be considered. It's called Asia.
We're doing Zeta Division today. Wyatt went deep in the Zeta Division VODs, and he likes what he sees. For those that haven't been keeping up with Zeta, we'll get into that later in the episode. Might need an extra second here. I'm going to check something before we go back to the show.
I don't think everybody's here, are they?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Avast. Are you stuffing your face again?
Dude, I'm so
we
hungry.
back?
I haven't had a chance to eat
Let's
yet.
go.
What are you chomping on, Connor? What are you munching on over there? Oh, with this camera angle, we get a nice wide shot of what you're just scarfing down. A little sandwich.
It's a ham sandwich.
Is Bren using the bathroom? Like, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, Bren will be back in a second, I think.
Are we just going to start anyway?
Yeah, it's fine. We can just start. All right, hold on. I'm all discombobulated. Oh, it's match prediction time. Everybody's favorite segment. Everyone, oh, dude, get your little screen, get your phone out.
I've heard
get
you've
ready
been
to take a picture.
popping off on the Overwatch predictions, Wyatt. I've heard you've been doing those heavily.
Yeah,
Josh
somehow
was telling me.
Literally twice as good as
Hold the phone.
My God. It's the guard from the guard.
There he is.
You're showing a lot of thigh today,
the
Mr.
phone.
Guard.
I'm holding the phone.
What?
Hold on. Wait.
Where did you come from? And
You
why,
doing the predictions?
why with such urgency? Yeah, we're doing predictions.
Good.
What is that?
Okay.
I mean, you like the prediction segment? Are
I
you a
got
fan
a bone
of the
to pick with you. I was about to swear, but I'm not going to.
You don't like our predictions?
I've got a bone to pick with you.
Like
Knucklehead.
What? Which bone? And why?
You'll see. Don't continue, host.
Why you-
Go.
Okay, NA match predictions. Let's check overall. Dude, what is your
What's
problem?
going on? The guard from the guard? What's happening?
I don't know. This guy's kind of... Listen, I had a rough... see, the thing is, I've been using a Ouija board to commune with accursed spirits to get information for my Preds, and it hasn't really been working. So now I'm going to start watching the games and actually thinking about them critically.
Yeah, before we didn't watch the games, we were just making stuff up, and now we've actually going to start watching it from here on out. So that's
really?
It's a big commitment from Plat Chat.
No,
Yeah.
we couldn't tell. No, we couldn't tell.
I'm picking up a hint of sarcasm.
We couldn't tell.
From the guard. From the guard.
No,
here.
continue. Run through the Preds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the Preds kicking off then, I suppose. What do we got first, huh? Oh, XSET OpTic. How about that? Upper bracket match. That's an important one. And we've all gone OpTic except for the guard from the guard. Really
the
likes
guard.
XSET.
What, do you have insider info?
What?
This
guard?
This isn't me. This is
You've been-
Bren's Pred.
Oh, Bren
Oh.
did that.
Oh, okay.
that makes sense. That actually
love the
makes a lot
bathroom.
more sense
I
now.
looked at the bathroom.
That guy
Not there now.
loves XSET.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's
we-
an absolute XSET simp.
Yeah,
it's actually tragic.
Yeah, we've noticed it. See, we're on the
He
same.
keeps on
We
talking
can get
about the big
along.
guy.
We can
get along
find
to a
common
degree.
ground.
I noticed how you didn't curse OpTic.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that's convenient.
Well,
It seems like you have some lingering feelings about something, but anyway, we all. Is that the Is that?
Yes, that's the problem. Yes, you curse these teams week in, week out. We were the promised ones, the promised childs of North American Valorant, and you cursed us.
I mean, it's not like we were in the server just because we all picked you to beat NRG in the
Next
match
Pred.
for the playoffs. Well, okay.
Next Pred.
I didn't curse you. I wasn't in that screenshot, so you can't be mad at me.
Shut up, Connor. Next Pred.
NRG Faze clan. Yay.
Oh,
We've all gone Faze.
another
except
team
for
escapes
Bren
it?
with NRG.
not happening. Cut, producer.
I don't know if you have this kind of power.
A moment of your time.
You're the guard from the guard. You can't dictate what Kurt does with the production.
I
he
don't
switched
really
to the Faze.
understand.
He's only
Switch it.
He's only
Faze, I want them out. If God can't be in, no one wins.
You're cursing Faze out of spite.
No one wins.
I mean, that, well,
No
NRG
one wins.
would
I'm
win.
cursing
One
FaZe.
person will
We're
win.
swapping
One
Bren's
person
Pred.
will win.
It's going to FaZe. And you know what that means.
Yeah, that is quite representative of what's currently occurring. I mean,
This
you've
is-
really just hijacked the show, and I'm
cursing.
going to allow it because you have an uncomfortable and threatening aura.
Thank
I mean,
you.
also,
just
you
stare
couldn't-
at me.
You couldn't even beat him in a fight. He's armored.
I know.
He would be able to absorb your blows if you were to challenge him.
That's
you have
why
nothing. You're just.
I will
Got nothing going on.
submit to the whim and wishes of the guard from the guard as he demands another team be cursed.
I know you guys don't read any comments. You don't see the people. You don't even acknowledge the people. You remind me of the feudal hierarchy of the 1100 era. You guys, you don't care about the masses, but people have been taking issues with this segment, your predictions. Okay, they've been taking issues with it. You guys. Yeah, you're misusing your power. You could have had guard coming through, and you knocked us out.
I mean, I'm
And so I'm doing it to FaZe again. All right? Now,
sorry, the
listen,
guard.
I got places to be. By the way, this is a sponsored segment. I just have to throw that in there real quick. This is sponsored. I have to throw that in.
Good thing legal won't be jumping down
But I
our
just-
necks anymore.
I just got to tell you
That's
guys,
good.
I
They're gonna
hate
be-
everyone here.
Oh my! Are you
then why do
leaving
you
now?
keep coming back?
I don't know.
You just hijacked.
Should
the
I
show.
leave?
I mean,
Is that what you want?
yeah.
Okay.
Please.
All right, see ya. Good. Have fun with your predictions.
You know, I think they're going to be real happy with that segment. I think they're going to love that one.
Yeah, thank you, The Guard, for sponsoring Plat Chat once again with another segment with The Guard from The Guard showing up. Love The
I'm
Guard.
glad
from The
that
Guard.
Legal's not going to be mad about us. We almost forgot to hashtag ad, but they're going to be mad because we're accepting blackmail for competitive integrity. Riot's going to be fucking shutting us down. No.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
they
no,
won't because we're going to get
no.
franchising.
Oh,
We're going to
no,
get the
Bren.
Plat Chat franchising. Oh, hey, Bren, you just missed the guard from the guard.
Are you okay? I heard you got locked in the bathroom.
Dude, I just took a monster dump.
I mean, what? I mean, you don't, dude. We're on a pod. Just don't say that on the podcast that we're live on to our hundreds of thousands of fans. They just didn't need. All right.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
predicted Faze, huh?
Wait,
Nice.
I predicted NRG.
You did? Well, the guard kind of hijacked the segment and changed your pred. Are you actually going with NRG? Bren?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the armed man. No, I'm okay. I'm sticking with my pred. I'm good.
All right, well, we've cursed them.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean the guard from the guard has forced us to curse poor Faze. This is so sad. But I think Faze will win. But now they won't anymore.
It's a guarantee.
So-
to take words out of Brent's mouth, it's a guarantee. It's not going to happen the other way.
Yep. Not sure if any more discussion needs to be had. All right. Let's move on. It's time to talk about Mech. Oh, baby, dude, they're back. They won a game, and they won another game, and then they lost a game between those games. But Mech did, they leveled up a bit over the playoffs week 1. Redgar, very whimsical, a very wholesome lad, and he also played very well. He had some really solid individual performances, but yeah, long have we awaited Mech to actually just wokage, and they've woken up. They got a nice win over Ascend, and then they beat Liquid in fairly close fashion to make it into the next round of the lower bracket. They're going to be playing against FPX for the qualifier spot. What the hell happened? I mean, Balla, you've been waiting for this. I know you've been waiting for this day in and day out, praying for the Mech revival. It has come. What do you make of this?
It's super weird still, guys. I'm not going to lie. But fuck yeah, man. Dude, we've been waiting for this for so long, and they actually finally changed comps. They put Chronicle finally full-time duelist, which mixed reviews on, I'd say. I think in the Team Liquid game, he was really good. In the other games, not so much, but still Chronicle level. So I was excited because they changed stuff finally. It felt like they actually had a whole new plan for certain maps. And Redgar, like full-time committing back to controller, is so much better than what they were doing before with Chronicle and controller. Like leaps and bounds, even though Redgar is constantly on Omen. He's literally just an Angel 2.0 or a Yampy 2.0 in certain instances where he's just TPing onto site by himself. But I don't know. I think that they have a chance to actually beat FPX. I don't think that it's like...
Really?
Yeah, I think they do because of what I've been watching from FPX, and just they flip from constantly being the throwing team who just does dumb shit constantly to them like being good and then doing the random throwy stuff every once in a while, if that makes more sense. Because that's how they were through groups, and now it's the other way.
I mean, they definitely had some rounds that were less than ideal. Like, if you could do me a favor, Kurt, could you show round 5 from Breeze against Guild? But they just have some rounds where it feels like there's some extreme miscommunication occurring, as players often end up in these positions where they just have no timing to trade for each other. Like someone is making a peek somewhere or trying to get space somewhere, and the next guy just isn't ready. Like a lot of times it would happen with Defo. It's like suddenly he sees someone and he just has to dash forward and he just has to go in and try to get this kill. And then like Shados is like, Jesus Christ, dude, I'm playing Sky. I'm trying to just catch up to you. And there are other situations where players are trying to reposition around the map and they're getting caught and they can't trade, which is kind of what happened on this round. Which is, against Guild on Breeze, the map that they ended up losing. This is early in the game on round 5. Guild are on a full eco. They're not playing Chamber. They're running the Cypher 100 Thieves-esque comp here with a Sky instead of the KO. And Guild end up winning a full eco against Mech. And it's not even that Guild really did anything great. I mean, Mech just fumble their positioning so hard. They even get the first kill. Nats finds an entry, and then Redgar just starts running down the flank, stomping, and just runs right into Russ. And then Nats comes to trade, but he's too late, and someone could be down elbow, but there's just no thought really given to where the Guild players could be at this point. And they just kind of slowly crumble due to lack of the good fundies, which I felt like was happening pretty consistently in this game. Like the fundamentals of Guild were just so significantly better than Mech that was just a massive difference maker for me. I'm obviously Mech are playing better than they did in the group stage. I think they're running better comps. The players look more comfortable in the roles that they're actually playing, so they can just straight up get more kills. Like Chronicle can get more kills. Nats on Chamber is getting a good amount. Like they are doing individually better with the way that these comps are structured and the agents that they're playing. But I still feel like the team play is not, it's just not what it was. That being said, you know, the individual levels are good and it could carry them through against FPX. I think you're right. They're not the favorite by any means, but could they win? I think it's possible.
Yeah.
That's a cinematic shot.
The EU wide shot observing just strikes over and over. I think a lot of those moments that we're criticizing for Mech is oftentimes greed, where they try. I mean, dude, how many? They got knifed like 4 times, by the way, this weekend.
Dude, he got slashed to pieces in that clip too.
Like it comes down to them trying to push for more of an advantage than they have. And I think that's because Redgar is trying to push the pace. And I think that's in general good. And I think they'll continue to improve with it and fix up like overextending a little bit or whatnot. So still room to improve, obviously. And the good thing is that they're bringing back, for example, Nats is having a lot more creative moments because he's playing Chamber in some instances. He played the Cypher on Bind against Ascend, which he was just farming with Defo, who's playing the Sky with him. They just had so many setups. That's like, how can you actually deal with that? And I think putting him in those creative spots makes him way better than he has, because I think he has broken that slump that I was talking about towards the tail end of groups. And right now he looks insane, like starting to look more like Berlin Nats than he has in the past couple weeks.
When I was watching this game, I mean, I think it was last episode I said I had just completely given up hope on Mech. It was either last episode or the one previous to it, where I just
it was the previous.
I completely gave up, and there was a little bit. I mean, my hope got reignited a little bit this week because for all the reasons that you guys have been mentioning, I think that they've solidified some of the comps rather than playing crazy shit. There's still, I mean, the Icebox comp was kind of like
that comp is good though. Like that comp actually has. Yeah, bro, it's good. I mean, how many moments did you see these retakes happen against Team Liquid?
Yeah, the retake, that was where the comp looked really nice, honestly, because just their ability to just completely deny all the space for post plants was with just smokes was kind of mad.
That delay they have on the B side too is like really good.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't have a follow up to actually make it work. How many? I saw so many rounds against Team Liquid where they get them down to 10 seconds to plant. And then they let them plant because Nats is like flanking somewhere with 2 mollies in his hands, where they've used so much utility to deny it. It was weird.
I've left watching this Liquid game on the other end of things with more hope just for Mech, I think, especially as well because I think Yinsu did an interview on a personal channel, I'm pretty sure, with was it Redgar? Yeah, I think it was Redgar, where they were talking about in terms of. It was somebody on Mech, but talking about how likely it is that they can make it to Copenhagen just based off the visas and stuff. And in my mind, I always held that against Mech as well, just in terms of like how motivated can a team really be if they know that they're going to have even more obstacles, even if they qualify. But apparently they won't have problems.
Oh yeah, that was Chronicle, I think.
It was Chronicle.
Yeah.
Right. And but apparently they have that relatively solved, which is good. I mean, I think that's one thing solved for them. And for a lot of teams, I think that would hold them back from their true potential. But there's still those moments where just I don't know, it's a little bit off. We're not seeing. I don't think we're going to get the return to form from like that reign of dominance of Gambit of last year. I don't think we're going to see that from this team. At least it doesn't look like it heading into Copenhagen. It could be we were completely wrong heading into Reykjavik, so anything can happen. I don't know, but it doesn't feel likely to me. But I am glad that they've stepped up enough to be in
this position,
contention.
Yeah, they're back in the conversation.
Yeah, back in the conversation.
Back in the conversation for sure.
We're always in the conversation, motherfucker.
Well, they were in the.
I mean, I don't know about
that.
Yeah, I mean, they may be in the conversation. I particularly like with their swaps too, because I know you wrote this off when I suggested it earlier, Balla. You said no way, but anything that puts Chronicle back in a position to where I feel like he can have a lot of impact. My boy Timofey. Okay, listen, that dude. I believed in him. I still believe in that guy. I think moving to a role where he's more high impact and Nats can like get more out of it, like on a chamber type of role too, like something where he can use that creativity like you talked about. But in particular, just having eras where you can let Chronicle do things that Chronicle does and just pop, it's gonna be nice. I think a duelist position is nice for Chronicle, and like they need a lot of time to make it work for these new swaps. But Chronicle's talented, and I really think that these are gonna be some good overall swaps for them, and it's gonna be a return of me just screaming, crying, a mess, watching Chronicle get an ace again and win the fucking round for them in an eco or something.
You really are just the lowest common denominator of Valorant fan. You are the TikTok enthusiast.
Or is
I am the TikTok enthusiast. But the thing is, I'm just also a Chronicle enjoyer. I'm just a Chronicle enjoyer. Is the thing. I still hold it the time where I brought it to Josh, and I think when was the event? It was like going into Berlin. Right before they won, I was like, Chronicle's my guy to watch out for. And he's like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. And then Chronicle fucking dominated that event. So,
yeah,
I'm telling you.
I know.
Yeah,
you are the
Josh moment.
number one Chronicle and
Josh
fan.
moment.
Yep. The fucking, the Nat swap, though, you're 100% right, Avast. Like, he was fucking good. On the op. I think really you brought it up and I was like, I've never seen Nats op in my life, you know. So it's like, I probably shouldn't play chamber, but realistically, the amount of cool TPs he had more than everybody when he's playing chamber, it's just so cool. Like he gets in weird spots constantly and spots that he could TP in. I think they had it wasn't them. I forgot. Oh, it was Fnatic who did the fucking Nightfall TP like into the site. But anyways, there's plenty of Nat stuff that I'm just always mind blown by.
Yeah, he is the shining beacon of hope for this team every time I watch Mech. And I lose hope, but Nats is the one who drags me back because he is playing so fucking well at the moment. He is playing so well. Like, in terms of the setups, he is cooking up shit all the time when he's playing Cypher for them at times. But yeah, the opping when he was playing the chamber, right? I'm not misremembering that shit. Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right.
Chronicle might be one of the worst persons to watch throw things, though, by the way. You guys talked about the stim last week. The same fucking way with satchels, bro. It's just like, oh, fuck, my bad. I didn't mean to throw that.
Keep the gun out. Keep out the weapon. Okay. I want to talk about Guild because they made it. They're in Copenhagen. Yeah. And I want to ask, like, should we be giving Guild more praise? Because I was thinking about it while watching, and I feel like yes. I think that they are better than they've been getting credit for, despite, you know, their group on paper and from watching the games, it looked like the easier group, especially with Mech not being in good form. Mm-hmm. And then they had on the last week, they lost to Navi, but, you know, I kind of, whatever, fuck it, that game didn't even matter for them. And that was their only loss in the group. They managed to beat everybody else in varying degrees of fashion. But I do feel like Guild should actually be getting more praise, and the win against Mech that qualified them has put I think it kind of put me over the top with them, where I think they're a really strong, legit team. I thought their defensive sides against Mech were so impressive. I think Coldamenta's calling on defense is just, it's so intelligent. It looked like they were playing with wall hacks in that game. They just knew where Mech were all the time. Their rotations were perfect. Russ was always controlling halls at the right time, pushing up deep. And whenever they were just always correct as to wherever Mech were going to finish the round, they would have rotated to that site at the perfect time. And I think part of it's probably Coldamenta's calling, and part of it also is I think Safe is just an extremely intelligent, consistent player. He's just always posted up on defense with the op in the right spot. He's not like making the insane flashy plays, but he's just getting a kill every single round because he's always on the right sightline at the right time. He's just very intelligent. I think Guild are displaying good firepower across the board. I think that their calling is really strong, and I think on attack, I think that fundamentally speaking, in regards to the team play fundamentals, I think they are right at the top of the world with the absolute best teams. I think their site executes are always just so clean, the way they play off treks. Their spacing is always perfect. Their trading off each other is always perfect. I really think this team is pretty sick right now, and I think they need a little bit more praise. Am I off here? Am I off some crazy David Beckham hopium? or am I kind of on point?
No.
What do you think, Bren?
I think that, I mean, you put up some valid points. The big strength with them that you were singing the most is that the fundamentals, just their team play, trading off each other, playing off each other. Like without a doubt in my mind, it's the same reason we call, well, not me, but Connor calls XSET boring, is because that's like one element of what you need, but the extra element on top of it that allows you to take wins against top teams is the talent being able to just win around for you. They're like an ace moment. That just there's been observer modes.
Yeah, that's a glitch right now, Kurt.
Patch,
it's very silly.
Last patch, whatever it was.
Viper casting a spell.
But it should be getting more page. I mean, they made it to Copenhagen. They arguably had a much easier way of getting there as well, which you've already mentioned as well. I don't know if that was down to the way the groups worked out. With the does it really just all come back to the Twitch chat deciding the fate of the groups, or does it all come back to that? I don't know how the fuck that even worked as well. We keep mentioning it, but I have no idea how that even worked. But regardless of the fact, they are going to Copenhagen, and I don't see this as a team that can do damage. But I will say that they have multiple strengths that they're not a slouch. You can see this team, I think, carrying forwards a couple of wins, but they're not favorites. But also, people just love to sleep on teams like this. People don't find them as interesting, just on the nature of they don't have the pop off clip moment. Maybe if David Beckham would retweet them more, maybe they'd have more clout. I don't know. Maybe people would like them more. But that's not the case. One player that we didn't really mention that much when we were going over this is Leo. I think Leo, out of all of their games, plays such a good role. I mean, okay, get saved there. But yeah,
look at the way they hold angles for each other.
That's the fundies. We love the fundamentals here on Plat Chat. That's the one. Listen, if you use the word fundamental a lot in analysis, people think you're smart. I think Leo is really fucking good, though. Really good in the clutch and just consistent for what they need. And that fits how guilds like to play. They don't take many risks, I feel like, as well as a team. Yeah. Should they be getting more praise compared to where the community's at with them? Yeah. Because people don't talk about them.
Yeah, I really think people have kind of written them off because their group was weaker and didn't have FPX, didn't have Fnatic. But Connor, it looks like you're ready to fucking say something.
No, I just think that if I put them about as I essentially think they're European XSET, just about. You know,
I mean, they kind of have been. I'm not going to say,
but also I actually really like though comparatively to XSET, even though Zekit and Cryo have been fucking nutters, they really have. I think across their career though, like Safe in particular has always been a monster. Always been like really, really good. So I do think they have like some strong firepower on this team.
You sing the praises of Guild, yet you still hate XSET.
I don't hate it. Dude, I don't. At no point, dude. This is actually. The lame stream media is taking me down. AKA Bren. Okay, AKA Bren. Because I've never said I hate XSET. I just said they don't excite me. It's two different things. Like
you said to me in complete confidence before the show started, like, there's an XSET topic. I'm not fucking talking about.
We can't do this anymore.
Take control.
I'm taking control. We can't do this anymore. We cannot do this anymore. Before we move on, do you have any fleeting important thoughts about Guild, Balla? We need to escape this topic before we talk about XSET more.
Okay. I don't know. I think you guys are overreacting based off of one game, and I also think that Guild blundered last season the opportunity to be talked more about because they looked so fucking good, and then they pulled the classic Guild and they didn't qualify. They beat Mech. Mech fucking blundered their way through that game on Fracture. Fracture should have gone to Mech, and I think Guild anti-stratted the shit out of them on Breeze, to the point where they knew their entire playbook. And that's when you're talking about Safe, like getting a bunch of angles and whatever. And that's a good skill to have. I just feel like if they actually had to play this bracket out to qualify, then like with the top 4 teams here, if they like restarted with Guild, Fnatic, Mech, and FPX, I don't think they'd make it. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about them more. I think we should. A top 4 team in EU is definitely like a team to be talked about. But you guys hate EU, so I mean, what do you want from me?
Yeah, true.
I don't. That's not true. I love David Beckham. Let's do our EU VCT match predictions. It's time for our EU match predictions.
Isn't David Beckham no longer EU though because of the the whole Brexit thing?
The what?
He's now UK.
What? It's the United. It's still.
We're doing the match predictions. Taking control. It's match prediction time. EMEA. I love Europe. Let's go to the first match. Guild versus Fnatic. Pull up the thing. I've only gone and done it.
What?
Everyone else has gone Fnatic.
Thank you.
I have gone Guild.
Thank you. I appreciate you breaking the curse. Like
the
I
sole
am
purpose of the
actually
curse?
genuinely so happy right now
Dude, you're
because
crazy.
I was gonna lose
I
to
don't think
Mimi and now I'm not. So thank you.
I don't think it's crazy. I think this is going to be. I think this series is going to go the distance. I'm betting on it going the distance. One reason why is because Fnatic get a free win in every series they play because everyone just wants to play them on Icebox for some reason. But Guild, they play Icebox a couple times. They've also banned it a few times, and the times they have played it, they've lost. So I'm gonna hope that they ban Icebox against Fnatic. So first of all, Fnatic for the first time in this stage are not gonna start up 1-0.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And every other map that on the other maps that they played when they're not playing against the slouch teams, they're close games. They're playing the teams close. I don't think Fnatic were playing their best game against FPX this past weekend. I honestly think on the Ascent
Really?
and Fracture, far from it. Yeah, I was not fan. I think that they were good, not as good as they were in some of the group stage games. I was really impressed with where Guild are at, and I think that on the other maps, the non-Icebox maps, I think Guild can keep it close with Fnatic on pretty much all the other maps. Fnatic are probably going to ban, I mean, they're going to ban Breeze, but that's not going to be in the pool. And then I think when you're looking at the other maps, like Fnatic's, what is their next best? You're looking at like Ascent and Fracture right now, but you know, Guild, they also like playing Fracture. Their Ascent was okay. I would expect Fnatic to take that one, but then when it goes down to the other maps, I mean, once again, sound like Josh here, but when it comes down to the other maps, like I really like Guild on Haven, and Fnatic have had shaky performances on the other maps, like their split game, and I think that this is a good opportunity. I think Guild can win like a 3-2 kind of series, and with just all close maps against Fnatic.
It's not. I don't think the thing is BO5.
Is it BO3 or BO5?
It's BO3, I think.
Oh, it's BO3.
In EMEA, I think.
Either way, if so long as Icebox is not played, I think Guild can win then a close 2-1. Fnatic have played all their other maps against top competition close. I think Guild have, right now, they have the firepower. They have world top class fundamental team play. I think that they have quality star players right now. And I think that Fnatic were good against FPX. But dude, if they don't play Icebox, are you confident in telling me that's a 100% Fnatic victory? 100%?
Yeah, the map was pretty deep. But also, I agree with all the points you're making.
They probably win it. They probably win it, but they start every series up 1-0.
They do.
Like, they're amazing. Fnatic are amazing, but they start every series up 1-0.
Trust me, you're spitting, King, and I don't want to shove you down when you got your back against your wall. You're fighting against three of us on the show. I don't want to shove you down.
Okay.
But the one point I do disagree with is the firepower aspect of Guild, because I think Guild can match Fnatic when it comes to the fundies, in terms of just being able to play off of each other, making sure that they're clean so that they don't get, making mistakes doesn't get taken advantage of by Fnatic. I think in terms of the game plans and the way that they think about a game and they plan out rounds, that's also kind of on par with Fnatic, I think. Guild are a pretty smart team, but when it comes to the firepower and talent, I think the difference then edges over to Fnatic. I mean, I'm not even going to delve into the map pools because I'm too ignorant of EMEA. I don't watch enough of EMEA to confidently talk about the strengths of each team on the maps. But the one thing I do know from what I've watched is just the talent on Fnatic, I think, is capable of pulling out rounds that should not be winnable. And I don't see that from Guild. I see Guild winning rounds off of clean team play. And
I mean, dude, I mean, listen, we can agree to disagree, but I think
this debate will go down in the history books.
Dude, I'm watching
We're going to reach the fucking mountaintops of Athens.
I'm watching Trex and Leo win like 2v5s and shit.
Yeah, Leo is clutch as fuck. Don't get me wrong.
So is Trex.
Yep, they are clutch.
Durka is the best player in EMEA right now. Yes, okay. But I think when you start looking across the board,
yep,
I don't think it's that far off for Guild.
I really like when Boaster gets excited and animated.
Takes his shirt off.
Yeah, when he gets happy.
Takes his shirt off and starts swinging it around.
That's crazy. I like Fnatic.
And I don't want to be stuck on this all day, but like, I don't know. You're talking about against the game on mech. You think they're like hard anti-stratting them? Dude, yeah. I think they can do the same thing to Fnatic. I think it's not necessarily to Fnatic's detriment that this is how they play, but like I think their defense sides are so reliant on their utility setups that it's the kind of thing that you can effectively prepare against. Like, I'm watching them do things that are just catching out, you know, FPX, and if you end up on the same map, like if you end up on Ascent, like, dude, oh, okay, Durka's trip is here. Well, I know as soon as I trigger this, there's a KO flash coming around the corner, and this guy's and Mystic is swinging. Like, there are things like that that I think they can be ready for.
Well,
where I don't.
That's the difference, though. I feel like the playbook for Mech on Breeze specifically is the map that I'm talking about, where the anti-strat crap out of them was where Mech play a very anti-stratable playbook. Fnatic doesn't. They play simple setups. Yeah, sure. There's a trip and a flash that's coming. Okay, there's a hunt paired with that. All that stuff is not something that is like it's optimal. It's optimal enough to the point where you can't really create something that punishes it unless there's like for example, what FPX does, which is go out and beyond to punish a Hunter's Fury or like a Chamber TP by using Angel's TP on top of it. That's the type of level that you're going to need to anti-strat against Fnatic. I think they are solid enough that and versatile enough that it's not really a thing. They have to rely on guild.
I can agree with that, but I also think that when in that FPX game, FPX were getting punished by those Fnatic setups where you can, you know, not get killed by those setups. You know, you can trigger them and avoid the actually getting killed by that setup. You know, which is FPX were not. They were getting caught by
just
those
one
things,
player moving forwards,
players.
suck, and then just Angels separated from the rest of the team. Moments like that.
Yeah. So listen, Fnatic are the favorite, but I am going with the guild upset on this game.
Looks so
Troll Despair.
Stoic.
I am stoic.
You're like,
because
and the
I just
camera
have
angle as
nothing
well.
to
When
say.
you cross your arms like this, you look like a bodybuilder with your proportions.
The
Your head is
alpha
tiny.
male.
What?
Cross your arms. No. Lean back a little bit. There you go. Dude, look at the size of this guy. He looks just tiny,
like
tiny head, but the body is huge, wide.
Well, you know, well, I mean, that's correct though, because I have to just know my blood flow to my massive, like, I do have too much myostat. I don't have enough myostat in like a gorilla, so my body overproduces muscle, and I don't have enough head. So that's the issue.
Okay, we've spent we've spent an hour and a half on Guild Fnatic. We're moving on FPX and Mech. What do we got? Is someone getting cursed? FPX are getting cursed. We have all selected FPX.
Here it comes.
Mech.
Here it comes.
This is a BO5, right? Or
Is this a guarantee? We can't give it the guarantee.
Wait. I need to know. Is this an is this a BO5 or BO3?
I think EMEA
check
BO5s.
BO5s,
NA is BO5s, I think. EMEA
is
I'm pretty sure.
BO3. It's BO3.
It's
I'm pretty sure
BO3.
EMEA is BO3.
Dude,
Yep.
I can't.
BO3.
I'm sorry. I can't give it the Plat Chat guarantee with a BO3
Why
that
not?
FPX win.
Why not?
Come on, Wyatt. Please. I need you to do this. Please.
Guarantee. You really want me to curse them so bad? You want Mech?
I don't think they're going to be.
I fucking love FPX, but I need Mech, man. Please.
I mean, listen, if Mech can go with their full roster and FPX can't, please, for the love of God, the universe, give Mech the win. But can this really be a Plat Chat guarantee?
I mean,
BO3? I don't think it's a guarantee. I think Mech can win no curse.
I've lost faith
yeah,
in
they
Mech.
I mean,
can't.
isn't
They
just
really
selecting
can't.
all of FPX already kind of a curse? Isn't that a curse?
Do we just decide on this now?
Yeah, I
If
don't
it's
know.
a
When did we
It's
not every
when did
time.
we
Okay.
decide that we have to
So-
go over the fine print of it's a guarantee or not?
Well, the thing is, what happens a lot of the time is that the match is like 55-45 or even less than that, and everybody just picks the favorite. So I think it's worth talking about
Right.
if it's a guarantee or not.
I am not comfortable putting the sample guarantee on this. Then,
No, I mean, I'm
because I
fine not
think this
putting
is
the
a much closer game.
I'm feeling like a
that's fair.
63-37.
What does anybody want to flip?
That's not a
No,
guarantee.
I don't want to flip. I don't want to flip.
Does anybody wanna
because
flip?
I
I'm not
feel-
flipping.
I'm feeling confident, but I'm not flipping.
I'm
I think
fucking
I'm
flipping. Fuck it, I'm flipping. Give me fucking Mech.
Okay. It's official.
Twitch it.
is.
It's
Come on.
official.
It's official. FPX are winning.
It is official.
No, okay, you
No,
guys
I
think
think
you're,
this is-
you're fucking cool, but every time I do this shit, I'm right. So I'm
I know,
sorry,
Balla is
guys.
right. Mech are going to win. The universe is
you
going
gonna
to
flip? You just said Mech are gonna win.
Now that I know it's a BO3, yeah, flip me, Kurt. I'm going Mech.
What?
I thought it was a BO5.
Where's your convictions, man?
I thought
Where's
all
your
these games were
convictions?
BO5s from here on out. But now that I know it's a BO3, I got to flip to mech. I'm sorry, boys.
Dude, where's your good, honest American standing where you're dug in? It doesn't matter about the facts. You've already chosen.
2
your
minutes
position.
ago, Wyatt said, yeah, it's like a 67-33.
What's happening?
Yep,
Where's your convictions?
63-37, and mech are taking it. Those are the odds. And
Those
I'm
are incredible
betting
odds.
mech.
Very precise.
Listen,
You got a
bet
mind for stats, kid.
I bet some op-asm
I could
offs
take
back in
under
my
my
day
wing.
on CSGO Lounge. Listen, I know the stats. I know how this game would look on CSGO on Valorant Lounge. Yeah, dude, listen, it's BO3. I'm going mech. BO3, I'm going mech. I don't know why they're going to win other than they're just going to do something and it's going to work and FPX are going to, where are Yoru? And then mech win.
Good summary. Cool.
Do
I
you
don't
agree
wanna
with that
defend
point,
myself.
Balla?
Yeah,
Don't
good
know
summary.
why, but they're going to win.
No, I mean, last time they played, FPX won because Mac was doing all the Chronicle Brimstone shit. He was throwing stimmies around. People don't remember that shit, but it was happening. Artist was playing Breach or something. No, wait, that was all the way back. Anyways, it was so long ago.
Yeah.
Mech's not going to lose. This is like the OpTic story. Mech doesn't lose rematches. It just never happens.
I don't even remember this game.
What was this?
This was week 1 of 2022.
Wait, was this the fracture that went
Damn.
crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it
my
was, yeah.
God, I remember
The
watching
infinite
this.
fracture.
Holy fuck.
And I
Yeah, I
told
don't
you
know
guys
how
here
long
that
Mech
Mech was
took
going to
this
lose to FPX because they're, CIS
Dude, if
team,
I
yada,
had to
yada.
send, I mean, this is just not gonna work. I mean, I'm just thinking about situations where if one of us were captured and you were having the information of the rest of us, Wyatt, you would immediately flip. Every time you'd immediately flip if you're being questioned. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust you with secret info. I mean, Bren, he's a trooper. He wouldn't flip. I knew Bren.
I just got
getting
new
tortured.
information.
He was-
I got new information, new synapses
what
in my
is this?
brain
Sorry.
formed, and I adapted.
The back of my brain is hurting. What are you talking about? Are you is this
I
like
was
an
just
imaginary
flipping.
scenario where we are kidnapped?
Well,
And one of us is like
No, it's
selling
not
the others
guard.
out?
Kidnapped, Bren. I know the guard was torturing you back there. So
it could be all sorts of things. It could be anything. I'm just saying that Wyatt,
you tell him?
flip.
What'd
Yeah,
you tell
like
him?
if Plat Chat got hit with like a RICO charge, we've been doing some crazy shit with the
Yeah.
money behind the scenes, and then,
Dude.
all of a sudden I gotta.
I'll be honest, I'm
dude,
flipping
I
on
can't
all you
face.
motherfuckers.
I don't have the guts to. I can't face 30. I gotta. That's what Connor's. That's what
I got a
scenario
daughter.
Connor's spinning.
This is a
That I
Valorant
would
podcast.
flip. But I'm just saying that we're talking
in
about
case,
yeah,
man.
we're talking
Gotta
about
have our
a
bases
video game.
covered.
I'm not kidding.
And
I feel like
it's because you had 2 cups. Dude, it's because
my brain is like breaking out of my skull from what is happening here.
You
It's
have
Red
like
Bull,
3
dude.
hours of sleep. You haven't had any water, and you've filled yourself up with fucking stimulants.
But I was frying
Okay.
on TF2 last night.
Okay. Yeah, Timothy Larder at gmail.com.
Timothy.Ladder,
Yeah,
2010.
Okay. I can't take any more EMEA talk. For the love of God. Bring me back to North America. EG and LG, what do they do for the future? 2 teams with a minor clout levels, but both with solid performances throughout this stage. Do they need to do anything, or do they just keep these rosters, go
Well,
to LCQ?
LG have dropped, right?
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, but they're
I'll-
still the free agent team.
They're
Yeah.
a free agent.
Free agent team.
They
They're still playing
intend on
together.
sticking together. They say.
Right.
They're going to stick it out, and both these teams are in LCQ, right?
Yes.
I'm under the impression, right? So, do these guys need to do anything, any changes, or are we okay with where they're at, and they just need to keep grinding for the next month and a couple weeks, whatever it is, and just play at LCQ with the same roster, stick it out?
EG have promise, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so do LG. I don't want to discredit them too much, but I think out of the two, I have more hope for EG, and I think that the playoff experience that they got, listen, I think it was pretty valuable for them. And they should be, if they continue to make the improvements that they've been making, they should be a dangerous team come LCQ. For LG, I am always at a loss for what to think about with LG. I am always at a loss because I feel like they do all the little elements that make a great team, they do in pieces. And then there's always just a little bit missing. There's like always a little bit missing with the synergy in terms of how they play off of each other. Always a little bit missing when it comes to the firepower. Like they can't really stack up against the very, very best rosters. their overall game plans are I think, good, but I don't really see this as a team that innovates that much either. I don't know what to think. When Connor says he hates XSET before the show every time, when Connor says he hates XSET with passion, I don't hate
Here
LG,
we go, Wyatt.
but I feel just a deep pit of apathy when I think of LG.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean,
like an emptiness, a void.
I mean,
I don't know.
I can't say I relate to that, but I guess I
question?
get where you're coming from, perhaps.
What's the question here for these rosters, anyways? Because like, so neither of
Trying
these
to ask
teams
you
made
if you'll drop a player. That's what he's
like,
asking.
but neither of these teams made LCQ, correct?
No, they both made LCQ.
They both
Oh, did they both? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the thing is that you're wondering about roster because I'm like thinking like, I was thinking for some reason I was thinking that LG didn't, but I was like, no, they actually did.
You're
So,
thinking
like,
of
okay.
like probably Knights and Ghost.
Yeah, but
yeah, Knights and Ghosted.
both these teams are there. They've got a month and a half or so.
A long time, yeah.
What's the recipe for success is the question. Or is it
Like,
just
if you
What
grind it
do they
out?
need to do to win LCQ? Is
Yeah.
basically the question.
I feel like if you're EG and you've had so much recent success, you're hoping that more time probably fixes the. Now for LG, that's a tough one because this same roster's been together for like ages.
The void
Right,
in
this
our
roster's-
stomachs. The
This
pit.
roster has been
like 7
fucking
months
together for
at least.
for a long time. It feels. Mm.
I mean, I think I'm okay with this EG roster staying together. I think they just needed experience and need more time.
I agree.
I'm okay. I don't think they need any changes. When I was thinking about this, though, I feel like the problem I'm having with LG is I don't even know if you were to change anything, what would it really even be? I mean, who do you even change? They've got players that can fill out all of the roles well.
Yeah.
At different times, they've all displayed pretty excellent play.
Yeah, credit
I think
to LG.
especially
Balling's not
Bedog.
bad.
But dog.
Especially Bedog.
David-
Moose is clutch. He's always getting big impact kills.
Tig's pretty
Here's what they
underrated
should
as
do.
well.
Here's what they should do. They should hold the fuck on and make sure none of their players get poached. Both teams.
Yeah.
Just don't let Jogamo, don't let B-Dog get poached.
Someone's coming
that's-
for B-Dog.
That's it.
Before LCQ, you
100%.
mean?
Yep. Just
Yep,
don't let
but
him get
listen.
poached, and you have a chance.
Yeah. That's what it comes
Yeah.
out. I mean, easier said than done, isn't it?
I mean, LG are just so they're. I mean, honestly, I don't think they need to change anything either, which I suppose just makes this fucking boring. But like,
Just
I don't
play
think they
better.
do because they did honestly. They're so close. They were so Faze really close game that they lost,
They're on
and
the
they ended
precipice.
up coming in the lower bracket and having to play
Here's a
that.
suggestion. Fucking commit to all the neon comps with Mata. Like, just commit to that shit. Let's play that shit and actually do something slightly off meta. I mean, it's not off meta, but it's just like slightly quirky with the team that makes it hard for other teams to play against.
I'm down for that. I do think that's one part of the team that is. I think Mata is kind of misused on the team sometimes. I think they have him playing weird roles on weird maps. Like Icebox comes to mind where they're having him like play Reyna and Jett.
Yeah.
It's
Their map pulls. This is one of the
play rates.
That's the big thorn in my side of this team as well. Is that I think they just have when it comes to the map pool depth of LG. I don't think they really compete with a lot of the other top teams. I'm not saying that that's the reason they've been losing their recent games, but anyway. I'm in agreement with you guys. I'm in agreement with.
I've actually,
stick together.
I've convinced myself that both teams can stick together, and there are active things that they can fix, and they could genuinely both have a chance at winning LCQ because I don't think they're that far off the other teams. I mean, the other teams that are going to be there is like Shaky Guard, Shaky Cloud9, 100 Thieves, Sentinels.
Sentinels is an absolute fucking green square moment, but I think the month though, but that's between now and then. The hardest thing is what we've all kind of agreed on is sticking together and still making improvements and what you were saying, Balla, not getting poached because every other team is going to be making the same strides. They are not going to be taking their foot off the gas whatsoever. 100 Thieves, Guard obviously have got to bounce back. So much pressure on their shoulders to do that. But then you're going up against Cloud9 when Cloud9 I think really started to have an upswing in performance towards the tail end of groups, but it was too late by that point. These teams, almost every team in LCQ, we said before the playoffs or groups or whatever, that they just needed time, and they've got it now. So this is, I mean, LCQ is going to be sick in terms of the quality of play, I think, in North America. But I don't know. Listen, if you want a dissertation from me, listen, hire me. I'll fix your team.
Dude, I mean, you're just the thing is, you start off, you're just like going off on a tangent, and then you're like, you know what, what do you want from me, guys? Like then you start off going, and then you're just like, dude, I'm not gonna, you're asking too much from me, and then you're just going, man. You're just going, your people talking.
I don't know what's going on.
Another suggestion. Start playing Pearl right now, because I think it's gonna be in for LCQ.
Maybe. Yeah,
True
play Pearl.
and based. That is.
Dude,
in
I
LCQ?
mean, what if Sentinels were to poach players from EG and LG? Wouldn't that be like the most villain move?
I mean,
wouldn't that be the most villain move
It
though?
would,
and they
would still lose.
It would be a villain move though.
That is just.
Wait.
All right, guys, we have
I
to
just
do
thought
it.
of a gigabrain strat. If you are like not a strat, but like this is like meta shit. I don't think Pearl is in the LCQ map pool.
Why not? Why don't you think that?
I think they said there was like an announcement. I think it was Champs was when it's coming in.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't have the information.
someone.
Is that how is that gigabrain if you're just remembering?
No, listen to me. Listen, I haven't finished the point yet. You are a team, right? You know that there's going to be teams that are qualifying for champs already in North America.
Yeah.
Right? Already. Like after Copenhagen, we're going to know this. Dude, if you become a Pearl specialist team, you can lock up that premium scrim position with a team that's going to champs, little scrim block. You can become little partners, okay? And so you're playing Pearl, but you get your mic's turned off, Balla.
No, it's not. I just heard him.
Not.
Oh, it wasn't.
What the fuck are you talking about, Bren? What the fuck are you talking
Well,
about?
it wasn't.
Go ahead, continue.
Are you fucking crazy?
Dude,
You
you're-
are.
Anyway,
You are
the point
actually
is,
going
you play
crazy.
Pearl, even though you would only play it if it was in this fucking lore that I've cooked up in my head that I don't even know is real. I don't know where I've read this. I need people to scour the internet and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Like right now.
I am. Don't worry.
I swear to God, it was. I saw something about it. But the point is, you get Pearl as a pocket pick. God, you are so upset with me.
No, I'm not. I'm
One map. You play it. All the top teams who are going to champs in North America, they're going to want to scrim you, and then you get your choice of other maps to play
So
on.
you're saying if you play Pearl, you get to scrim against the other top
the best teams.
Okay.
If you make it your pocket, because they're going to want to play against you because you're good at Pearl. They're going to want. You're going to get a reputation of being the Pearl team,
Right.
even though
Of
you're not playing at
course.
LCQ.
Right. Yes. Of course. I don't know
cool.
what I'm. I don't know what I'm. Okay.
I think,
Guys, it's time. We've been baiting the viewers into watching the rest of this episode for this moment.
Yes.
Do Sentinels deserve an LCQ slot? That is the question at hand. When there are teams like Ghost out there. No. Bren is shaking his head. No. I'm going to say yes. Because, look, they managed to qualify both times. They did better in stage 1 than stage 2, that's for sure. But, listen, they got the points. They qualified both times. I am just rage that they do. I think there's some interesting stuff they could do with this roster. I mean, you're talking about the neon thing with Balla. I think that they should just do that, but with their team. Shaz, Breach, get Can Pecky on neon when he's playing it a lot on a crew. He was one of the first people doing it, and he looked good on it. And you have Tens play Chamber, and you go Faze mode, but with Sentinels. I think that is that is the way forward.
you need Tens to play Chamber. I think, right?
Yeah.
Tends to play Chamber for him. You need some sort of role swaps with it. Do they deserve an LCQ slot? I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, they had some. Listen, they had tenuous circumstances with the competing at the end of groups.
Yes.
With everything going on, like they weren't able to play with active
Absolutely.
rosters. Listen, I can't hold it against them, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they have an easier time of things? Like them making stage 1 and playing teams close and getting the points that they needed to make LCQ. Like in stage 1, that was off the back of their 2021 performance. They had an easier path into stage 1 in the first place. And
Yes.
from my mindset, the way Valorant evolves at such a rapid pace, we can see teams shoot up the rankings, and in terms of just their strength as a team, very, very quickly. I think it's actually a bit of a weak point of the format this year, is that we are limited in that I mean, I wasn't saying this beforehand. This is some hindsight Harry analysis, but the weak point is that we are missing now what I would consider some of the best teams in North America out of LCQ. I mean, it would be better if it was expanded, but I don't think it is, just with the amount of teams that are going to be there.
That's just facts.
It's just facts. Like Sentinels
pull
are not.
Pull up the points. Pull up the points on Liquipedia, and you'll see that over any of the other teams, sure, they performed slightly better. They made playoffs last time, even though they were gifted a free spot. They still made playoffs, and they won one game, if I remember correctly. Oh, no, they fucking bombed out. But Ghost didn't make it last year. They didn't even make it into groups, and they bombed out of playoffs. Version 1 didn't make it through. Like, you can make arguments for all the teams that are below them to be below them.
They are not a top 10 team in North America.
But what I would say is those teams should be in there though. Ghost and Version 1, Knights, fucking like literally every single one of those teams in my mind. Why shouldn't they be there? Like it doesn't make much sense to me given the performance that Sentinels had and the performance that these guys had. Like it's not that big of a difference that it's like, oh, they get to go to the prestigious tournament where they actually have a chance to fucking do something. Weird.
Yeah. I think that I think they could do cool stuff with this current roster that they have, but also, I mean, surely there's just been a breaking point that has been reached when for like 2 years you just have Shazam being like full-time streamer, full-time IGL, and all of last year he was one of the best players in the world for the most part, and he's like leading the team, coming up with the strat. I mean, surely there's just a breaking point there where it's also like, I'm sure the dude wants to live a life too, and he's just doing everything for that team. I genuinely think they could do cool stuff with the roster they have. I just hope that I'm getting stun locked because what is the super chat? Sen are boot camping now. I thank you for the super chat, Mohammed. I don't know what. Okay.
They're boot camping. They did.
The
Why are
Sen
people
fans are
rioting, Kurt?
losing it. They're boot camping, which means
They're gonna win. Let's go.
What are the people saying?
I mean, listen,
it's literally just that.
we're not looking at chat.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm going to tell you that. We're not looking at chat.
I'm not looking at it.
But that being said, we'll look at it if you give us money. Also, no, kidding, but not really. Kidding, not really though, because I just looked at one because of money. But I mean, that just fucking lost my train.
Sorry,
I don't care. The boot camp. No, it's not you. It's they're okay, they're boot camping great, but I think they could do cool stuff with this roster. I think that with the personnel they have, that it could actually do cool things in this current meta. They just have to switch shit up and put a bit of time into it. And, you know, listen, I want to see one last hurrah with this team before they almost, I mean, I would just imagine they're going their separate ways once their contracts expire and we go on franchising. This is probably going to be the last time we see Sentinels. So, listen, I want to see one last fucking hurrah with one of the legacy teams of the game that, you know, pioneered to some extent. Like, I mean, Sentinels are just very important to the early history of Valorant. They're going to be one of the iconic teams of the game forever. They won the first international tournament. Give me one last hurrah. I want to see some cool shit one last time, and then I imagine it'll be done with the roster. That is about all that's the hopium that I have.
Yeah.
You know.
They need to do like a
hopium.
presidential transfer, you know, and they fucking like transfer the government. Like they need to transfer the clout to the new teams. You know?
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I still see the fire, the competitive passion in Dapper with his play. I think Dapper was playing pretty good, but what this team needs is just, I don't want to keep rehashing the same point, so instead I'm going to give them a plan of action of what needs to happen.
Tell them what to do.
Cut the streaming hours in half. No cap. I know that's a fucking dumb narrative that people are running with, but at the end of the day, just cut that shit in half because streaming humans. We're gonna get real fucking anthropology kind of type beat right here.
Anthropological.
That's the one.
Yes, but
humans were not meant to fucking input the opinions of tens of thousands of people at once. Yes. The human mind was not built to do that. We were fucking built to meet maybe 100 people in our lifetimes and get those, and not even see those opinions all the times. If you're streaming all the time, not even ignore any idea that you're putting hours into streaming as opposed to practice. You are also just constantly getting the fucking criticism because of your fans or whatever and trolls in the chat non-fucking stop. Listen, humans, when we just reached that end point, listen, we were meeting 100 people at a given time. Fucking 100 people, I swear to God. And now it's not normal to be taking in the opinions of so many thousands of people who are criticizing your every fucking move and also just telling you what your team needs to do differently, blah, 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 blah. It's not healthy. If you you are serious about winning and actually making a mark at LCQ, just cut that shit in half. Just because it's a strain on the mental in the first place, but also because it will help as well if you commit more hours to server time. Cook up some fucking innovation comps. Start working it. If somebody on the team doesn't want it as hard, fucking kick them out. Boot them. If they don't want it anymore, fucking read that. It doesn't matter if they're friends and you're friends with them. Just boot them out and put somebody in who actually wants the chance to play well if you can. What the fuck is this?
This is
What is
Sentinels.
this?
Listening to your game plan.
Technology. This is
What
the evolution
stage are we
we're
on
gonna be
right now? Are we
connected
on
to.
this
You
one?
guys,
or like in
you
between
guys,
these two?
We're on number 2 right now. Yeah.
we're on number
we're on
2.
this.
Yeah, we're on number 2.
We're
They
right-
just
we're close
released
to
the
this one, though.
Google glasses that can like live translate. I think you guys are gonna look really dumb when Sentinels wins LCQ.
Do not fucking squander this opportunity, Sentinels, that they have been afforded, man. They must not squander it. I mean, yes, the circumstances not ideal for some of the players. Cirque, I think, recently posted saying that he's been having mental health issues as well. I respect that a fucking ton. It takes a lot to come out publicly about that. I'm a big advocate for mental health support. I really do hope he gets help and he ends up feeling a lot better and ends up competing with his team as well. But overall, just this team, I don't want them to squander this shot because they've been given an opportunity here. They've been given a one last fucking ride, and they just need to take action and actually start doing stuff. So far, it feels like they have just been coasting. They have been coasting, with the exception of 1 or 2 players, 1 or 2 moments.
But Bren, they're boot camping.
If they're boot
They are
camping,
boot camping.
fuck yeah, that's step number 1. That's step number 1. Cool. They've
I mean, it's not if,
reached the
they
point
are.
that every other North American team has been doing for fucking months. They've done it finally in time for LCQ. Don't squander this opportunity. That's all I can say. I'm the most passionate Sentinels fan in the world, apparently. I don't.
This guy just loves Sentinels. I'm
They're
just gonna
gonna
leave
look
it at
so
that.
silly when they win
Preach, bro.
LCQ.
Preach.
No
They're
further
looking so
discussion.
silly.
Bren popped off. All right.
He rests his case.
One last topic. We promised it at the beginning. It's time. Zeta Division. I'm going to say it. I think they look fucking awesome. I was really enjoying watching Zeta Division. They're playing some innovative stuff. I mean, if you just want to start pulling up some of the clips I sent Kurt, they're playing this comp on Haven with like a neon KO. Of course, Sugar Zero is going to be on the Astra. The stuff that they're cooking up on the executes, I mean, you have to watch this like 7 times over to just realize how much utility is going off and how well coordinated it is. Their timings off the depth neon is so good. It is just perfect by the second every time. It is really impressive stuff. I love how they're using the KO in this comp. Like they have these set pop flashes for depth where like he'll put up his wall, he'll run down it, and then when he slides, like at that instant, the KO flash gets thrown over from somewhere deep and pops for him just as he's getting out of the wall to find entries. I mean, they're doing some cool stuff. If you want to show the second round,
I wanted to talk about that Haven.
oh dude, I mean,
Just for a little bit, but I
Say
don't want to.
something.
No, I don't want to interrupt your train of thought.
I mean, I just want to show this one
Yeah.
thing on the second round on this A exec that they do on Haven because it was making me pog, okay? Because I don't think I've seen other Neons do this, but they were going for a fast A exec. They prowler down short for the info there, and now they're going for fast up A long. Depp walls in, they KO nade backside, and look at this stun he does. He puts a stun that hits backside
what?
and hits short for players to come up short. It's like...
Can we rewind that?
It's
missed
Pog. It's straight up Pog. They're doing very cool stuff right now. The individual skill is still really high. They're bringing out new comps.
Dude,
Look at that.
that is quite
And then
cool.
they got the KO nade. Like, dude, they are doing cool stuff right now. They are doing very cool stuff. The individual skill is on point. And also, I got the region since Masters Reykjavik, dude, they're stepping up. I swear, watching this game against Fave, who I've not watched them before, I was more impressed by them than I was with Crazy Raccoon when I had watched the final of last stage. Like, they are just stepping it up. They have, like, some people might recognize Fisker on the team because he was with Crazy Raccoon at Champions, and he didn't look great. And, dude, he's a fucking beast now. He was just running around finding, like, 3K entries on attack. Just crazy skill at the moment. I was
This is a lot of crazy
impressed.
like Minty as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Boz, like it's a lot of old Crazy Raccoon players and other players as well that have been in the scene. So it's not like people who are just fucking out of the blue. Like you look at this team, nobody's ever heard of them, but they're
Right.
they're legit. And if you watch the game as well, they looked legit too. They had equally as many good ideas as Zeta Division in terms of like execution and stuff. But Zeta Division literally was just better, and they also have their own crazy ideas. I think what excites me the most is that they are doing full meta stuff, whereas even a region like EMEA, a lot of the top teams are not. You know, like Guild and Mech, they're still just slacking. Not a single team in the EU has continued with Neon, for example, when NA has proved that Neon can be good in certain instances, right? And so Zeta running it, that excites me. Really, really excites me. And they're still good at everything that they were good at Reykjavik, which was my fear. Because they've only played, what, like 4 matches total so far since Reykjavik, since their 3rd place then. So I was terrified that they were going to, you know, no longer have like certain utility combinations that they built throughout Reykjavik. I was terrified that they were going to like forget how to stall, which was fucking incredible at Reykjavik. The amount of time they take a space like Garage and then just hold and get like 3 kills and then they regroup and take a site. Like that was like so good at Reykjavik, and they still have that. They're still a complete package.
I am going to say something critical of Zeta Division, and so I'm going to pull my hairline back so people think I'm Josh. Because look, it's the bold man.
You know, it's funny. People are actually going to believe you.
I am bold. It's me, dude. Josh isn't here to hate on Zeta Division, so I'm not going to hate on them, but I will say that I think this isn't just some analysis that I pulled off looking at the round history of Haven as well, but watching this map when I was watching their defense side, their retakes were definitely more out of sync comparative to their attack side executes. I think it's the nature of the comp they're playing, the timings when they're doing these full-blown executes around the Neon Wall, they shove it across. Very well drilled, you can tell they put the server time into that, but when it comes to how they were playing retakes, often they were missing a step. Players were out of sync in terms of like the pressure that they were applying to like an A lobby flank on Haven, for example. I mean, I don't have examples to pull, but it was one of the things I noticed with this team. But I don't think that gives cause for concern when it comes to heading into this. Because
I agree with that take too.
Because they're innovating and they're still playing well in one aspect of the composition, which shows that they understand how the comp's played with its strengths. And if they tighten up those aspects, they will look much better moving forwards. And the thing that I like about them as well is that they're still leaning into each other's strengths. Like Depp, one of the biggest issues was, like, statistically speaking, before Reykjavik, Depp was putting up incredible numbers, but he was like really, when it came to actually playing against global competition, at the beginning he was really inconsistent and he had those real on fire moments. If you can find roles for him where you're not relying so much on him getting those pickoffs, and it does come down to like the utility combos, like him playing Neon, the full executes, I think that's a great direction for this team to go into. That just carries them honestly to another level if they can get to that form. Do I think they'll have the same kind of performance? Because at the moment, they haven't qualified yet, right? This was just the upper semis, I think. The upper...
Yeah, they still have to beat...
they're still
win
in the
2 more
upper
games.
Yeah. So, I don't think they're going to have a run again like at Reykjavik. That's a hard ask. That's like a mixture of just the right elements and variables came together of just playing for fun, the fucking honeymoon phase or whatever it was. It all came together. But... I love just the overall direction that the scene is going in, because before Japan was a region that was an afterthought that we were talking about, but it's so clear, just to again hit home the same point that you guys are uttering, but the entire region as a whole, it's a well recorded thing as well that happens in esports, is if there's a region that isn't really as relevant, if they have a team that performs well on the global stage like Zeta did, it adds just a resurgence throughout the entirety of the scene, and you start to see everybody else kind of being brought up, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
provided there's interest at a large scale.
Which there is a lot for Valorant.
I mean, dude, like you can even look, Fave Gaming or FAV, they already got eliminated. But like, Kurt, do me... I mean, I was so impressed by them too, and they got knocked out already. But like, if you want to pull up round 7 from that, the game what we were just watching on Haven, like they were playing some great rounds. I mean, they were pushing Zeta, and for a while in that game, Fisker was just dominating when they were on attack. They could not shut him down. Their executes were also really well drilled. They were making great decisions. They were pushing Zeta. I've only watched now from this circuit like the 2 Zeta games in the playoffs, but I'm curious to watch more of like Northeption and the other top teams and to see how well they're playing. I believe this is the correct one. Yeah, they go for a super well-timed, everything here on this C hit, the utility on the entry is so nice from them. They played some great rounds. There's another one. I was hoping it was this one, but this is just another clean hit. But like there were other rounds where like they got C for free and immediately they're like, okay, we're going to go for a garage push and take that space before Zeta are even ready to set up for this. And like they flash through, they're swinging for each other effectively. Like, dude, these guys are so much more coordinated than Crazy Raccoon were, getting second in the last stage. And they have good skill from the eye test, just watching. Like Fisker's a beast. And they're actually coordinated, and they're already knocked out. When I looked at the bracket, I was like, "What the fuck? They're gone already? Those guys were good." I'm really blown away. I really think the region has stepped it up. I think Zeta are doing some cool stuff. I'm pretty hyped for where that region is going and just how Zeta are going to perform in Copenhagen, given they made it. I mean, I don't know enough about Northeption and some of the other top teams, but if the teams look this good, I feel like they're at least going to get pushed.
Crazy Raccoon is still in it. Crazy Raccoon are in it. They have a very different roster. They're still there. Yeah, very different roster.
But yeah, there's Crazy Raccoon, there's Northeption. I mean,
that org's still there.
Northeption looked fucking nuts last year at APAC LCQ, and they looked pretty good throughout this tournament so far. Reject is former Zeta Division players like Taka J and stuff like that, and Rada, and so like they got knocked out by Crazy Raccoon, so that's also a good team. It is a lot deeper than
maybe it's not a lock then for Copenhagen.
And I don't think it's a lock. I really am. I'm terrified because I really want to see Zeta repeat. At least make it back so we could watch again and have that. So yeah, could be cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I think this is also a success of Riot highlighting overall when you see the improvement of these teams over time and you see the improvement of the region. It's just like Riot, by allowing the autonomy of the regions and letting them grow and develop and investing in them, letting them go to events, right? Even if they didn't deserve it initially. They didn't. They really didn't deserve to go to a lot of these like initial events. But because they let them go and give them the opportunity to get some stage time and some spotlight and to grow and to bring that experience back and to let people be like, whoa, this is fucking cool. You're seeing a growth of a region. It's a very great idea from what we've seen from Riot at regional level. And I think Japan is probably going to be potentially one of the best success stories of that model.
I agree with you, but they're also fumbling the bag over there with the format that they have. I mean, it is horrendous.
Sure, yeah, but that's like we can't obviously there's like issues, right? I'm more talking the broader goals, not the overall micro. Like, and how is it managed?
By the way, they have a fucking like venue and a crowd for the rest of these games. Oh, I'm fucking.
Oh, really?
3:30 a.m.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
that is sick.
I'm excited to watch the other teams. I haven't watched Crazy Raccoon and Northeption yet. I can only imagine if they made it that deep in the bracket with the quality of play I saw from teams that are already gone, they're fucking good. So I'm excited to see those games with a crowd. That is pretty awesome. All right, it's time for the final segment every week, the weekly award. Roll the clip.
Hey, bro. Pass the sticks. It's Wyatt's weekly award.
Almost just broke the chair. I don't know what I just sat back down and I feel like something just broke. I felt like I sat on a twig. Okay. There's a lot of nepotism going on right now with the weekly awards because the last time I gave it to Balla, but this time I'm genuinely, you know what? I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to give it to Josh. Okay? I know there's a lot of nepotism occurring here with the weekly award the past 2 weeks. But I gotta give it to Josh because he's just been trying his hardest with our fucking Boomerants League team. He's been IGLing. He's been cooking up the defaults and the strats. And listen, we have streamer brains. We don't want to listen to Josh. We just want to look at our chat. We don't want to interact with whatever. He's like, oh, dude, guys, can we do the default? You go watch B main. And then so we're all stacked up at A.
4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 seconds
before the barriers go down. Wait, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Wait, what are we doing?
You know what? Josh has been the glue that has bound the team together. I mean, also Vansili.
Vansili as well.
So, you know, there's that. But in regards to the gameplay, Josh has been the glue that has bound us together.
He's
in our
been giving me
darkest
little
times.
pictures. I'm not good with
Valo
I'm not
playing?
good with words and listening. So when he gives me the pictures, I like that a lot. There he is.
There he is. He just loves.
I love people
talking.
talk, Josh.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
do too.
good.
It's just people talking.
It's so good.
Someone needs to make that a 7TV emote, actually. Just Josh
Yeah.
Pipo talk.
People talking.
With just him just talking like that. I mean, that needs
That's
to
not
be
even the
an
best
emote,
one. The
actually.
best one is the one where we had the dramatic lighting from like
Yeah.
his video about like casting or whatever, and it's like him looking up. Like that's the best one.
Someone needs to actually make that a 7TV emote.
Just-
That would be
All caps analysis. That should be the name of it.
that is so someone
would go
please do
fucking-
that. That is a great 7TV emote. Also, I'm giving it to Josh though, because you know what? No, it's been hard on him.
It's been hard on him.
It's been hard on him. You
Yeah.
know,
He,
pressure creates diamonds.
he's had to
And
change.
We're molding a real FNS
Yeah.
leader.
He's had to. I mean, he plays with push the talk off, obviously, so he can come with our like.
Yep.
But he's had to hold back. We'd lose a round, and he would be like, He'd just sigh. He just like, you could feel his soul just evaporating live in real time during the scrims. But he's had to hold that back. He's grown as a human for the sake of it. I couldn't do that. I tried to play with push the talk off. I felt contained. I felt like a caged animal, trapped. I couldn't do it. I wanted to like scream and shout like, fuck, I played, but then people are in clutches and I'm...
Yep. All right. That seals it. I swear that's the last Nepotism Weekly Award. Next week, it's going to go to someone who's not involved with Plat Chat.
Surely,
Tens is
Clueless. Surely
dog.
it will.
All right, guys, thank you all for listening. Was a little episode. And make sure to comment after the stream, which player looks more like they might be Bren's little brother? Is it Soigetsu or is it Mata? Personally, I think it's Soigetsu.
Mata?
Yeah.
Does Mata look like me?
Mata looks a little, yeah, he looks like he might be related to you. It's possible. And same with Soigetsu. They kind of both look like they might actually be related to Bren. So make sure to leave a comment as to which one actually looks like they are more likely to be Bren's little brother. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye.